fucking 3. That is just fucking crazy.
Hey,
terrible. Hey, fuck you. My Social Security just went up. That's right. I get $2,000 now.
I love the first thing they hear on the stream is, "Hey, you."
Sorry, guys.
Drivers in Bakersfield, be aware the city has
Friday.
started a pavement rehabilitation project on
Relay,
California
relay.
Avenue. The work, which started on Thursday, covers the section from Stockdale Highway to Real Road, which means road closures on the road and adjoining streets. The work should be done by Monday, October 27th. Crews are removing old asphalt and repaving the road. There will be restriping as well as ADA compliant sidewalk ramps. Drivers are urged to use alternate routes. A school teacher has been charged in the murder of a married couple with ties to Bakersfield who were hiking with their children in Arkansas. Andrew James McGann was arrested by state troopers at a barber shop in Springdale. He was charged with 2 counts of capital murder and is set to appear in court today. Kern County leaders are supporting Governor Newsom's proposal to streamline oil and gas permitting while maintaining environmental standards. The bill would certify Kern County's oil and gas ordinance under state law, which would allow local leaders to issue permits without facing.
I'm still telling you, don't push it though.
I know. I'm gonna try to play Sunday.
I would wait till Tuesday, just in case.
Without further delay or risk of litigation. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM.
I swear to God, if I get a text message tomorrow saying you were right, I shouldn't have done it.
The army where you shoot a mile away, you gotta get a post like this. Bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you wherever you may be, however you may be listening. This is the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at KERNradio.com. Chris Burdick producing the broadcast. On the very, very first day of August, we got a busy broadcast as I bid adieu, and Kathy Abernathy comes in on Monday. Judge Teresa Golder will host on Tuesday. Restaurateur and overall good egg Cassie Biddle on Wednesday. Special counsel to Stephen Bloomberg, the chancellor of the Kern Community College District, Romeo Agbalag, on Thursday, and today's guest, Rick Bentley, hosting on Friday. Be nice to these people, particularly you all in the chat room. And I'll be back on, I believe it's the 11th of August. Headed down to Los Angeles for a little bit, see my nephew and my now 83-year-old mother, and from my mom and myself and my whole family. Want to thank all of you that sent really, really kind messages on Facebook. I posted 2 pictures. Yesterday on her birthday, I posted a picture of her at Knoxville College in her teen years. And today I posted a picture of her having lunch with my nephew yesterday, Thaddeus, out in Pasadena, and I got like a bunch of likes and just some really, really nice comments. And from both my mom and myself, it was very nice of you guys. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. We got a busy show today. We got some new information on the killer that took the life of a pair of Bakersfield folks, Foothill and Liberty graduates, and the story gets even more tragic now that we know more information. I'll share that with you in just a second. Rick Bentley will be here at 3:30 as per usual, and the Lemonade Kids joining us at 4 o'clock. They're a group of children that in old Stockdale sell lemonade the old-fashioned way, like we used to do it as kids. You ever sell lemonade?
No, I actually never did that, but I did the candy bar thing once.
Yeah, we used to do the candy bar thing. We had to do the candy bar thing for Cub Scouts.
Yep. Boy Scouts.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a Boy Scout. I hated Cub Scouts. Mrs. Sherman was our den mother.
Fun.
No, she was Satan. She was evil. And because of my dad's, you never quit, because I was ready 2 days in. 48 hours into Cub Scouts, I'm out. And my dad was like, absolutely not. And it was the worst time. Pack 394. Don't forget. But the Lemonade Kids, they raise money for Honor Flight. So we'll have them in here at 4 o'clock. And you will not believe, if you have not heard, what is going on with Ghislaine Maxwell. And I'm sorry, I think it has to come from the Trump administration. They have moved her from a maximum security prison in Florida to a cushy Club Fed in Texas. Just to give you an idea of how soft this place is. Now, I've never heard of this woman, but apparently, obviously, she's an affluent, entitled white woman. Have you ever heard do you watch any of the Real Housewives?
Not really.
I used to watch the Atlanta one, but it got ridiculously stupid. But Jen Shaw is a woman that used to be on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and she's in this jail. And from the description that I heard from several reporters today, you can't even really call it a prison. Instead of being in like a cubicle, Maxwell, a pedophile for all intents and purposes, a pimp, a traitor to women who corralled young teenagers to the delight of her boyfriend, Jeffrey Epstein, is out of a cubicle, and she's now in what they described as a dorm room. And remember, this happens after the second in command at the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, Trump's former attorney, met with her for 9 hours. So now whether a deal was made or not, it certainly looks like that. This woman who was rotting away in a prison for 20 years for hurting women, teenagers, for Jeffrey Epstein, suddenly, after the second in command of the Department of Justice goes and meets with her, suddenly she gets moved from a serious prison to Club Fed down in Texas. I heard she was tanning this morning and playing tennis later this afternoon. This is crazy. And why this administration wants to just keep furthering and furthering this story, we should be screaming and yelling now. Now they got me mad. They're giving love. They're giving kindness to Ghislaine Maxwell. This is crazy. She better go before Congress and list every son of a gun that ever walked on that damn island. There better been some kind of juicy deal Todd Blanche cooked up. Because why else? And somebody played devil advocate and said, well, it's because she's become famous and she might get shivved and they got to get her to a low security. Oh, give me a break. Like those prisoners didn't know who she was the whole time she's been in there. This is, whatever. We'll get into that later on. Kamala Harris was on Stephen Colbert yesterday. She's now going on a media tour. Just as Joe, we told you yesterday, was where was he, in Chicago?
Yeah, the bar.
Oh yeah, the Chicago Bar Association.
Thank you.
Kind of deal. Don't they understand? And certainly Republicans don't want to see him, but the Democrats just want you to go away. Hunter's speaking out. Joe's now come out of the closet, and Kamala's going on a tour. She's written a book, and I forget the name. Can you look up the name of her book? Because it's insane. Oh, I know what it is. 107 days. And that's her allusion to the time she had to run for president. Isn't that what it's called?
107 days.
Yeah, the time she had to run for president. So that's her crutch. Really what the title should be, here's why I lost, because I only had 107 days. That's exactly what she's saying without saying it. 107 days. Why don't you call it failed presidency? Or I failed yet again? or at least I got by Iowa. I just we've got some bites from her being on Colbert, and I'm sure I haven't heard them. I'm gonna go listen during the break, but because I didn't see it, I missed it. Did you see it?
The only thing I caught was what I have cut for you. And
Yeah,
I've watched since then. But
totally forgot about it. Totally, because I would have watched it, but I'm not attuned to watching Stephen Colbert at 11:30. I'll tell you that, boy. And the Dodgers are winding up a road trip. They're down in Tampa, taking on the Rays, and Hard Knocks starts on Tuesday night. I'm digging this. It's weird how when you watch Hard Knocks, it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a propaganda machine. Because I just watched the clips, and I was like, "Oh, Buffalo gonna win a Super Bowl." Buffalo gonna win a Super Bowl. They look good, and Superman is just Superman. He really is. Who's the best quarterback in football? If you had to start a team right now, who would you start that team with?
honestly, Josh Allen or Joe Burrow, one of those two.
I like Josh because he runs more.
Yeah, but Joe has the speed. I feel it's the only thing that separates them is the injury problem.
All of a sudden, Mahomes' stock has just dropped.
No,
You
because
would not start your team with Patrick.
I feel like it's just Josh has a little bit more skill than Patrick does, but it's overshadowed because Patrick has more success.
Yeah, because Josh can't beat him.
Yeah, exactly.
Josh hasn't beaten him.
Josh can't beat him by himself, though. That's the issue. Patrick's always had Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, all these guys to help him. Josh is really just Josh.
Yeah. Rumors are flying that he and Taylor are about to get engaged.
Wouldn't surprise me. I think he's going to retire next year, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely.
This is the setup.
There's no question. This is his, unless he somehow, which I extremely doubt, has a monster year,
right,
and they win the Super Bowl. But no, and even if he won the Super Bowl, maybe that's the way he wants to go out. But yeah, this is definitely his last year. What is he, 35?
Something like that. Yeah, he's in his mid to late 30s.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got media just drooling for him. Now, especially that ESPN lost Shannon. He'd be perfect there. His brother already works there. And he's seeing his brother. What a wonderful life he's having. They just had a baby. They've got 4 girls. Is that what Kobe had? 4 girls?
Yeah, Kobe had 4.
Oh, he has 3.
Wow.
God, I hate to see those pictures with him and Gigi. They are so hard to look at. All right, let's get started. We got a busy show. We will tell you the new news about the suspected killer of Clinton and Kristen. Local folks. One went to Foothill. Clinton went to Foothill. The girl went to Liberty. She was a volleyball star, from what I am told. And it's a horrible. It's even worse. And I have kind of a controversial question I'm going to pose. In fact, I'll pose it now so you can react after during the break. We now know that Andrew James McGann allegedly killed the husband first, and the wife was able to scurry away with the kids and get them away. That's why the 7 and 9-year-old were not harmed. And then once she got them to safety, she went back to check on her husband, and that's when she was murdered. And I get paid every 2 weeks, so I got to ask this question. Was that the smart play? I know it's the human instinct. I know most of us would have done it. But if it's the husband going back after the wife, that's different than the wife going after the husband, because what in the world is she going to do against a guy with a knife? You know what I'm saying? And I was just wondering, just throwing it out there, wouldn't it have been smarter just to go run away so that your children aren't orphans? I don't know. But I know it's human instinct that how can you just leave your husband? I don't know. Think about it. 842-5376, our phone number, 842-KERN. Rick Bentley at the bottom of the hour. The Lemonade Kids at 4 o'clock. And we'll talk about Kamala's appearance on Stephen Colbert. and Ghislaine Maxwell being moved to a cushy prison in Texas. You're listening on a Friday to the Ralph Bailey Show, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Monday on the Armstrong and Getty Show, Trump just sent 2 nuclear submarines closer to Russia because of ramped up rhetoric. Oh boy.
Plus, the American Public Library is dying. Nobody's going anymore. All across the country. Why? Because there's so many bums and junkies in the library. Here's a question for you. Why in the world have we let this happen? And what can be done about it? On the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays 2 to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hey everybody, it's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Adaptive Network. You know, it's funny or coincidental that I'm talking to you about Adaptive Network because they literally just left our studios. That's right. We've teamed up with Adaptive Network because they are the best in town when it comes to IT. And, you know, the biggest mistake companies make with their IT is not having a plan. Like I've talked about, as a radio station, when our IT goes down, you hear nothing. So we can't just wait and say, oh, well, we'll call our IT guy the very next day. We have to have a plan. Disaster recovery, security policies, and compliance that all often get ignored. And they also talk about antivirus. Today's cyber threats need layered security, firewalls, endpoint protection, and monitoring. And that's why we've teamed up with Adaptive Network and why you should as well. Call them today at 241-0638. That's 241-0638. Adaptive Network, your IT partner in Bakersfield, making it simple, stable, and secure.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty.
You got
so
Sarah
you're protected
Huckabee?
for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Every day, Dave spends $5 on
One ultra latte with a caramel drizzle.
but for less than $1 a day, he could protect his family with a $500,000 life insurance policy from SelectQuote. And for about the same $15 a month he spends on,
Honey, what's our password to Streamflix?
he could have a life policy from SelectQuote. But when his wife asked him,
Honey, have you looked into life insurance yet?
Dave said,
Whoa, how are we going to afford life insurance?
if only Dave knew that SelectQuote could find him a policy for up to 50% less than he's found online. That's about the same amount as one of his streaming subscriptions. SelectQuote is a broker. They know which carrier has the right policy for Dave's situation. So he'll have money left over for
A karaoke machine with auto-tune.
I'm canceling your credit card.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get your free quote now at selectquote.com or call 800-341-6060. That's 800-341-6060. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Sails away over kings. It's a beautiful song. Not a very well-known song. Turn that up a little bit. Some of the day, that they do, dreams do come true. So did my dreams. come true when I protect you. And you might be overjoyed over love of me. Stevie Wonder. 842-537-6 for 842 KERN. So again, as I mentioned, Andrew James McGann has been charged with 2 counts of capital murder, meaning that he is eligible for the death penalty. He confessed. This is a bizarre, I mean, all random acts of violence are incredibly bizarre. This one, though, not only did he confess, but he's a former teacher who couldn't keep a job. He'd gone to 4 different schools and had been reprimanded. And of course, the schools won't release why, claiming their personnel reasons, but I can only assume they were related to violence. 4 schools in 4 years. And for the best detectives in that area, they cannot uncover any connection to this man to the Bakersfield couple. And again, has anybody chimed in on my question? Would it have been smarter for the mother to just run off as opposed to going back and trying to combat a man with a knife and thus leaving her children orphans? I don't know how you could leave your husband lying bleeding, or, you know, maybe she didn't know, maybe he ran off and she was going back to maybe, you know, try to stop the bleeding and didn't realize that he hadn't left, and then he attacked her. That's just human nature, man. That is incredible bravery, because she knew what she was running back into, unless my scenario is right. Maybe she thought he'd left. I doubt it. And there was just no way she was going to leave her husband lying on a trail bleeding. And there was a bond hearing today. And once again, as we talked just yesterday, how you cannot get away with murder in the 21st century. Now, granted, he confessed, but had he not confessed, they had hair follicles that were found in the blood of 1 or 2 of the victims. So they had him cold, whether he confessed or not. It's rare, though, that you see a confession in a situation like this, but I guess, and he was just casually getting his hair cut. He was at a hair salon, and they walked in and didn't provide any kind of resistance. Just went away, went down to the jail and confessed, yeah, I did it. I killed him. And yet hasn't really expressed any type of remorse or reason. He's 28 years old. 28 years old. Our man in New York who shot 2 law enforcement officers, a security guard and a policeman, and 2 women, he was 27 years old. We have just lost that entire generation. I can't explain. I'm not smart enough to tell you why. I can observe and see what's going on. And I'd be willing to bet. I wish I could retire and just investigate stuff like this, because I bet you could find an incredible subset of traits among the last 10 or dozen random act of violent shooters that have acted on people that they don't know. Because most murders, we know why. We know why Escobar, well, not Escobar, I forget his name, the guy that killed his wife at a graduation party, we know why that was. She was an estranged wife. There was a graduation party. He wasn't invited, kind of an OJ thing. Remember that? That's what everybody thinks set off OJ. They were at a ballet recital for his daughter, and OJ surprisingly showed up and then talked to Nicole. We're going to dinner at La Luna. Well, I'll meet you there. No, you're not invited. and I think a little cocaine and a little something, and OJ lost his mind. But can't get away with murder in the 21st century. Just can't. Just can't. Hair follicles. We told you in the situation in Idaho, just something on the knife sheath that he had. Was it follicles or sweat? I forget.
And for your knife sheath one, it was sweat. But
Yeah. And Chris Hillis, we told you the local story, the man that killed Steven Towser. The knife that he used, he perspired on. That's how they connected him. You can't get away with it. But that is incredible. Here is Governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee.
We can never imagine the difficulty and the pain that these two girls will go through, but they get to know that their parents died as heroes protecting them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The mother saved those two children's lives. She really did. And then trying to save her husband's life, gave her own life. It's incredible. We pivot to something much, much brighter on this Friday. KGET entertainment reporter Rick Bentley will join us. And then at the top of the hour, the Lemonade Kids, a group of children out in Old Stockdale who on the annual raise money for Honor Flight Kern County. We'll talk to them at 4. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. I would stick around if I you.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm going to go see if I can do some laps.
Okay. Yeah, it's my favorite line. It's got Pamela Anderson.
President Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on imports from a number of U.S. trading partners. The S&P 500 fell 1.6% Friday, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 1.2%. The NASDAQ Composite lost 2.2%. The surprisingly weak hiring numbers led investors to step up their expectations for an interest rate cut in September. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is shutting down after its government funding was terminated. The numbers on Wall Street: the Dow down by 542, the S&P lower by 101. More details at SRNnews.com.
Well, I mean, it's Pamela Anderson.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. Copper thieves are targeting HVAC units all over Bakersfield. Companies say the copper theft is an epidemic across Kern County. The condensing oil is especially valuable because it comes with high-grade copper too.
But that's the humor of that show.
Joe, you're on a hot mic, Mr. Bentley.
Oh, really?
No. You probably did. It was covered by the
That for 60
All right.
years, man. Wow. What could it be?
Arthritis.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. This
You
joint.
said it wasn't broken.
This joint right here, sore as hell. It's still a little sore. As the day's gone on, it's gotten less. I think at our age, we start getting little bits of arthritis or pleurisy in those, and especially the joints that are the most distance from our hearts.
Yeah.
And again, how often do you bend that joint? And how often do you bend your toe?
Yeah, proof. And don't it feel good? It's a Friday, and Rick Bentley, KGET entertainment reporter, is live in studio. How are you, sir?
I am good.
Yes. You looking forward to hosting next week?
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also a little nervous about it.
Really?
Well, I don't want to. I mean, you've put in a few years with the show. I don't want to kill it in one afternoon. So
you'll be wonderful.
Oh,
They'll love you.
We'll see. We'll
Yes.
see.
Yes. What's really going on?
Oh, we got lots we could talk about.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, we could talk about Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it.
I have not. It's on Netflix.
Are
so
you
I
kidding
can.
me? You, the golf nut that you are, did not go out and buy Netflix for an hour. or
No,
2
I
hours
have
just-
Netflix.
Oh, well then,
I have Netflix.
and you haven't watched the Happy Gilmore
I have
2?
not. I hate to break your heart, but
I've seen
I
3.
was not a fan of the first one. The only good scene, there were a couple of good scenes with Carl, like any Adam Sandler movie, there are a couple of classic scenes. I
Yeah.
will grant that. But as a motion picture, I just didn't like it.
Well, I will
thought
tell
it was
you.
a stupid script. He's saving his grandmother's house and he could hit and it just, man, it disrespects PGA golf.
Well, that's it.
That an ex-hockey player can come on and run up and hit a ball and suddenly become a great golfer. I'm like, really? As a frustrated golfer.
You realize it's fiction. They can, you can have a ex-hockey player with no arms and no legs.
True.
Be the greatest golfer. I mean, you can do whatever you want in a film.
But the Bob Barker scene is
It's
classic.
classic.
Yes,
it is classic. And I'll save you the time and energy.
Okay.
It's a stupid movie. But you would like it just because of all the PGA people.
That's
who
what
are in
everybody
it.
tells me.
I mean, it is loaded with cameos.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But you have to endure Adam Sandler's acting,
Yeah.
which is one notch above a fire hydrant.
Thank you.
I mean, he cannot act
No, he really can't.
at all.
He really can't.
And so he's just lucky, he can crowd these people in. And really, the fun of the thing is to sort of pick it out. Oh, who's playing that waiter? Who's playing that caddy? Who's playing? And so if for you alone, and all some very famous PGA players are there. So
I know where you're going.
yeah, I can see.
I've heard.
I would say if you watch it, I think you would only appreciate it for that. Otherwise, you're going to go, "Wow, this is dumb."
Yeah. Is there a good Adam Sandler movie?
We had this discussion, I think, last week.
Did we?
Yeah, you weren't here.
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I think he's done some dramas that I have liked.
Oh, the most recent one? You like that one where he's the pawnbroker?
Yeah, the pawnbroker. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
I thought it was an interesting story. It was kind of disjointed, and it was a weird ending. But
yeah,
I kind of enjoyed it, as I remember. I watched it twice.
Yeah, generally his comedies are very stupid. I would be hard pressed to find 3 great Adam Sandler movies whatsoever.
Did you like Uncut Gems?
I liked Uncut Gems. Punch Drunk Love, I think, was the other drama one he did. And I kind of like Spanglish.
Oh yeah, I did like Spanglish.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not putting that up for Oscar contention,
Right.
But when
He does the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah, but when you've got the bar so low,
Did you get that, or did that just go?
yeah, I went right over my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get it, Chris?
Oh yeah,
Okay. Thank
yeah.
you.
I don't like to talk politics.
Well, it's not politics. It's
Well,
anything but politics.
Didn't it happen?
Doesn't he hook up with the housekeeper?
Yeah, but didn't that happen when he was governor?
I don't think so.
Oh, we don't know. He
We
could
don't
have.
know.
So
Was he governor when he stooped the girl that lives right over here in the Southwest?
See.
Okay. Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, but I still like Spanglish.
I do too.
I can put that on there.
I agree.
So, yeah, but generally overall, his Billy Madison, all those are just one note.
I didn't think he deserved the Mark Twain Award. I really didn't. They're giving that away now, like Girl Scout
I
cookies.
think they've run out of.
They really have
good comedians.
They really have.
I mean, we had an era there when you could say, "Oh, we need to give it to Bob Hope, Jack Benny,
Johnny Carson,
Milton Berle." I mean,
yeah.
we had
George Carlin.
great, George Carlin,
Yeah.
absolutely.
In fact, I think Carlin may have been the first.
And now you look and you go, well, it was down between Adam Sandler and Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
So who, come on.
Yeah. David Spade.
Well,
really?
Conan O'Brien I think just got it.
Yeah, he's borderline. I've never been a fan.
I think
but like him.
The last one to win it that I thought was good, Lily Tomlin won. I believe 1 year.
Eddie won.
Eddie won 1 year. Eddie had his better years.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was up right now, I don't think Eddie would win now.
He's 64 years old and still working.
Well, there's a difference between still working and working it.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think the whole point of Hollywood is just to be able to hang around.
Well,
the money is so stupid.
But I'm saying
if you can continue, if you can work for 4 decades in Hollywood.
But if you want to judge somebody's career, as those last years get, you're taking any job you can and making bad material.
Yeah, but he's not. He's making movies.
Well, what's the last good movie he did?
I thought Dolomite was good. You didn't like Dolomite?
It was okay. I mean,
I grew up with Dolomite, so I was very eager to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
think.
I mean, it's like Michael Jordan playing with the Wizards.
Oh,
but he's still playing.
There's nothing that bad.
Is there some? Don't you get some love for just being able to hang around?
I should, because I have.
Exactly.
I've done my best to hang around.
That's what I say.
When I should have long ago been put to bed.
Me too. That's what when people say, "Oh, he's horrible. He's horrible." Well, I've stayed employed for 21 years, so I can't do that bad.
I'm fooling somebody.
Exactly. And that's what Eddie's doing.
I literally felt like I was fooling people every day in my career. I mean, I'd wake up and go, they're going to pay me today to go to the movie and watch TV. They're going to catch on one day. I would be paying them.
That's a pretty good gig.
It's a very good gig.
It really is.
Yeah, so I
say the same thing.
Yeah.
I lay on my stomach and I put things down on a legal pad from 7 o'clock to about noon. And then I Uber in here at about 2:30 and I talk from 3 to 6. It's hard for me to complain.
Yeah, you really
as I'm going on vacation.
Yeah. And having really unqualified people fill in. So it should be good. Don't worry about it at all.
That's not true.
Even though you can watch from afar.
I have a great group of people filling in all week.
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 are amazing.
Shut up. Would you stop? I'm going to listen all week just to hear you guys.
Oh, I hope not. I hope you have better sense than to waste your vacation.
I absolutely am. What else you got? What else is going on? I still haven't seen Superman.
You said you were going to go the very next day, and you didn't.
I know. Yeah. I think that was the weekend I got gout, though.
Yeah. Well, and then since then, Fantastic Four came along that I liked far better than Superman.
Yeah.
So I saw 3 movies for this weekend. We could talk about that. We could talk about the Sydney Sweeney Uprising.
What is that all about? Please explain it to me, because every time I see it pop on television, I turn the channel. Literally.
I have one word for you. Alcoa.
Alcoa, the company?
Yeah. It's all those people with those aluminum hats.
Oh.
Come on. Look.
The last time I saw her, wasn't she in Locust?
I think so.
She was one of the girls. She was in the plot where the black girl stole from the family that took her to the destination and gave it to some boy she met on the island. Then they all got caught.
Oh, White Lotus.
White Lotus. That's what I meant. White Lotus.
You threw me with Locust.
Lotus?
Locust.
I didn't say Locust.
I think you said Lotus.
No, I didn't. I said Lotus, but I did not say White Lotus.
Yeah, she was very good in that.
She was.
But she was much better in Euphoria. And
never saw it.
And she was okay in the romantic comedy Anyone But You.
She's much more attractive now than she was in White Lotus, boy.
Oh, she is
filled out quite a bit. I don't know if that's artificial or not.
And
but
here's
who cares?
here's the stupid thing. When I was in college, I was an English major, and I realized that when I was always asked about, you've read the book for the class, what's it about?
Yeah.
If you say it's about death or about sex, you got it. You nailed it. So you can take anything that's put on the air or written or anything, and you can put your own spin on it. And I think that's what happens. You've got these conspiracy people who look at the superficial of this and want to make something out of it. I was just saying earlier, if you really want to take that a step further, and we're going to talk about, that whole blue-eyed, blonde-eyed culture, what's her initials?
I have no idea.
Sydney Sweeney.
Is it
SS.
Is it with an S or?
She's an SS. And what's the SS known for?
Shut up.
I'm saying
they're tying her to the Nazis?
No. Well, that's the whole thing about that's the backlash to this.
Is it really?
Because what they're saying is when she's talking about she's got good genes, and although she's talking about JEANS, they're saying, oh, you're saying that people with white, that are white skinned and blue-eyed and blonde have better genes. That's the conspiracy thing.
Do you see why I've avoided this?
Well,
and you just wasted 4 minutes of my life that I'll never get back. But this is the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
Fox News last week did 58 more stories on Sydney Sweeney than on Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, I saw that.
So it's not a topic that people are ignoring.
Yeah.
And that's why I talk about it. But I'm just saying there's an absurdity. I'll tell you why Sydney Sweeney's doing those commercials. She's gorgeous.
Exactly. And they're paying her a lot of money.
She's and I hate to use the word hot because it sounds redundant, but she's very hot as far as movie roles are concerned.
Right.
She's being pursued by all these people. So if you're that popular, whether it be the physicality or your talent, they're going to put you in a commercial. And I love the play on words. I'm a word guy. And I like the GENES compared to JEANS. I get that.
Yeah.
But again, go back. You're old enough to remember when Brooke Shield did
when she was 14 years old.
And people went nuts over that.
The Calvin Klein jeans.
You can't have a teenager strutting around.
Yeah.
Well,
so
she was naked and Pretty Baby. When I think we've improved by putting pants on her.
And she was pretty much naked in Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon, but she was older then. When she did Pretty Baby, she was very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does this controversy help them? I would think.
Well, if you're talked about that much on any news channel, yes, it's good for you because I think the general population goes, really? I mean, we got bigger things to see and be suspicious of, like moving people from maximum security prisons to Club Fed. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. For the category of worst timing, the nominees are
no kidding.
Yeah, even if there's no correlation.
Right.
It's like it's going back to like the Stephen Colbert firing.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to get fired anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, this was headed that way. Morning shows and even evening news are dying. And we're going to see these things being trimmed back and dropped. You're going to see all the evening, the late show news gone. But the timing of that was tied when it came at the same time as there was a negotiation and they needed the Trump administration to not block it. Even if there's no connection, no correlation.
And you're leaving out the fact that the night before he accused Paramount of giving Trump a bribe.
Yeah.
How he didn't get fired that night, I haven't figured out, and how he's still on the air after saying something like that.
Yeah, that is the weird part of this whole thing is you don't say somebody's done, and
then give them 10 months.
It's like giving you, okay, Ralph, you said something bad about the station 10 months from now. So let's make sure you don't say anything else bad.
Well, I lived this. Back in the day when McGraw-Hill owned Channel 23. They had a 3-month buyout for both parties where you could, at the 3-month period before your contract was out, you could say, I'm leaving, and they had to leave you out.
Oh.
Or they could come to you and say, in 3 months, we're not renewing your contract, which was a really cool thing to do, to give you 3 months to find a job.
Right.
Well, me being the POS that I am, I just fell into stupid luck. Do you remember the kid? His name was David. He was a skinny kid. Well, you don't know. Anyway, it's 30 years ago. Worked for KBAK. The week that they notified me, he announced, he was the weekend anchor at KBAK. He announced that he had gotten a job in Dallas and he was leaving.
Oh.
So I called Kevin, whatever the news director's name was, and he said, Ralph, you don't even have to send me a tape. Just come in and let's interview. And I got the gig. Literally a week after I was notified that I was getting whacked in 3 months.
Right.
So to be the POS that I was, because Trahi used to get Trahi was the assignment editor there at 23. And just to piss off Trahi, I got a 29 jacket and would wear it to the morning meeting.
Wow.
And he'd be like, Bailey, take that off. I was like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? What are you gonna do? Fire me? I was such a jerk. I lived that. Why they had that in that contract, I never understood.
You have a passion for burning bridges, don't you?
No, Trahi and I are dear friends.
Okay, that's good.
We just went to lunch, went to Wool Growers a couple months ago. But yeah, I was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And most bosses would tell you. I'm sure Mr. Brandon would tell you I'm a pain in the ass.
But anyway,
Anyway.
that's the Sydney Sweeney thing. I want to, sort of talk about
Well,
because it's so absurd.
It is. It is.
I understand some conspiracy things, and I get it, and I appreciate people thinking things through. But there's a point where you're just, you're trying to find ghosts in the cemetery, and they're not there.
Yeah. Wow. What else you got going on?
Well, I saw 3 movies.
What'd you see?
I saw the Naked Gun.
The new Naked Gun?
The new Naked Gun.
Oh Lord.
You're old enough to remember Police
Leslie
Squad.
Nielsen? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember that? That was an ABC show.
Mhm.
Lasted 6 episodes. That's all because the network went, this is too stupid. And then 5 years later, they make the first Naked Gun movie with Leslie Nielsen.
Right.
Well, now it's back, and Liam Neeson has taken over the Leslie
Oh,
Nielsen.
that's right. I knew that.
And
I
he's
knew that.
playing Frank Drummond Jr. So he's playing Leslie Nielsen's son.
Okay.
Look, if you're just looking for a way to get away from the world and laugh your rear end off,
really,
go see it. It's stupid. It's idiotic.
But it's funny.
It's absurd. I mean, it is playground humor. It is, every bad pun in the book, but it's just, that's the design. They want to be as idiotic as they can, and they achieve it.
Wow.
And it works because you've got Liam Neeson, who again, I say has one of the great speeches in film history with Taken, playing Drummond as straight and narrow cop. He's not going for the laughs, but because he's so serious about it, what he's doing, it creates the funny moment.
Right. Right.
And so I highly recommend. Pamela Anderson plays his love interest in it. It's nice to
Really?
see her, yeah. And she's that less glam Pamela that she,
She still won't wear makeup even in movies?
and they do a lot of close-ups on her. I think they're wearing some light, sort of just enough, for the camera, no shine, that kind of thing. She's not over glamorous.
Right.
It's not caked on or anything like that. And she still looks wonderful. And I love the fact that they have her as the love interest because it's age appropriate.
Right.
I get so tired of these things where you've got a guy who's in his 70s, whose love interest is in her 20s.
Yeah.
It's like, I get the fantasy that a lot of these executives have, but it's really, I find it creepy.
Yeah, you got to be a Super Bowl champion to get a 24-year-old at 70.
Exactly. A multiple Super Bowl.
6-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. So anyway, that's out. If you've got kids, there's the sequel to The Bad Guys, which is The Bad Guys 2.
Yeah.
It's about a group of animals who were in the first film were thieves, but became good and helped the police. And that's back. And it's from DreamWorks Animation. It's got a beautiful look to it. It's a fun story. You have people like Sam and Mr. Wolf. He sort of has that
Love him.
He sort of has that George Clooney air about from Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
That sort of suave. I can run the gang.
I absolutely love him.
Sam
You
Rockwell is
forget how good he
unbelievable.
is and how many good movies. You forget that he's in Green Mile.
Yeah.
You forget that he's in the movie with Woody Harrelson, and they put the woman dies and they put the billboard up to try to find her killer.
Oh,
and he plays the bigoted cop.
yeah.
You know anybody, Chris? You know what I'm talking about?
Is that? Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah. And he's brilliant in that. In fact, I think he might have won an Academy Award for that.
They have. I would tell you this. I consider the great actors are the ones you say people forget they were in because they don't just show up and act.
Right.
They become the part so much that you forget, Sam
that was
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but when you see, if you see a Brad Pitt movie, you go, that's Brad Pitt. We always, we remember him. But Sam Rockwell there was a
Nicholson was like that.
Was it called Moon? I think that Rockwell was in. Anyway.
Oh, the space movie. Yeah.
The space movie.
Yeah. I saw that. I mean,
he's just got film after film after film. So as the voice of Mr. Wolf in this, he's very, very good.
Yeah.
And so if you got kids, what I like about when I can find these animated films that I know will entertain little ones because it's flashy and fun and a lot of action, but it's also very rich and textured looking and smart enough with the story that adults won't get bored. I like finding those kind of films. And this is one you can take young and old, and nobody's really going to be bored with it.
That's good. It's a good time for it as kids are getting ready to get back to school, just something to do right before they have to get back on their regular routine.
Like if you just want that nice afternoon out with the family, you could feel safe and secure with this one. I mean, it does have multiple fart jokes, but who doesn't?
I've always said men always think fart jokes are funny.
Yep.
Women get bored of it around 12, 13.
Yeah.
Right around then. They're not so funny.
Maybe that's why you're not married.
It is, because I once Dutch ovened one of my girlfriends and she literally started crying. Literally started crying.
I'm about to start crying because you did that.
I thought it was funny. Come on, the old Dutch oven.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
Wow.
No?
No.
She started crying.
I
was like, oh, come on.
I'm
it's
just
not tear gas.
Oh, it's worse. It's worse. And then I saw a film that's available only on through digital services called The Lizzie Borden Game.
Oh,
yeah,
that's always a great topic to get into.
It's a great topic.
The Hatchet Killer,
and a really, really bad movie.
Yeah,
yes.
You see the one with Elizabeth Montgomery?
That one's a good one.
That's a good
one.
Yeah.
This one there's no plot. It's basically we're gonna have people sit around and chat until Lizzie shows up, and chops them up,
yeah.
And then she goes away for a while. And then the people go, "Wow, I heard a noise outside. I'm gonna go out with my flashlight and see what's going on." Chop, 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 chop.
Yeah.
And Lizzie has this weird obsession with chopping at the private areas of men.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That just it's like, oh gosh. So if you're looking for something to watch online in digital platforms, avoid the Lizzie Borden
at all costs.
Yes, game. It is a stinky.
Yeah. God, what was I going to ask you?
Coming up on TV though.
Yes.
The new season of Wednesday starts next week.
Of what?
Wednesday. It's based on the Addams Family character.
Oh, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I love her. I dated a girl that had Wednesday on her thigh.
Ooh.
I'm not making that up.
It's not the Dutch oven girl, right?
No, it wasn't the Dutch oven girl. It wasn't the Dutch oven girl.
Yeah. This is the second season. It's Jenna Ortega is playing Wednesday.
Yeah.
It is just a fun, macabre series. Tim Burton is directing. I mean, come on.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad.
That starts next week. I would suggest people get out and
Have you seen these Final Destination? What's the Final Destination movie that's out right now?
Bloodlines.
Have you seen the trailers for this thing?
It is one of my favorite films of the year.
Have you seen it? I watched the trailers and just was in amazement. Why do people want to watch people die? The guy mixes the glass in the ice, and then the thing with I just like, really, you just want to sit in the theater and watch how other people die for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as getting on a roller coaster.
Oh. The lawnmower.
Yeah,
you see that?
There's a ceiling fan incident.
Well, of course there is.
Yeah,
googly boogly.
Yeah, but what I liked about the film is the opening sequence, which sets up, the whole premise behind this series is that people escape death, and that you can't do that. Death will come back and get you.
Right.
The opening sequence is one of the best opening sequences as far as these horror films are that I've ever seen.
I wish I could do it. I can't. I've never, I got traumatized in 3rd grade at Catholic school in New York, and they showed The Thing.
Oh, okay.
And my dad had to get a nightlight.
Was that James Arnaz?
Yes.
The Thing? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was that. And then I had another trauma in 6th grade when I saw that fake documentary about Bigfoot.
Oh.
And my father had to give me the speech.
That's it.
He gave me the speech. It was brilliant. It didn't really calm me down, but it was brilliant.
And
he said, Ralph, let's assume there's a Bigfoot. What are the chances of him coming to Los Angeles? And let's say he comes to Los Angeles. What are the chances of him coming to Ladera Heights? And if he comes to Ladera Heights, what's the chances of him coming to Bedford Avenue? And even if he comes to Bedford Avenue, what are the chances of him coming to our house? And I was like, okay, you're right, Dad. Can I sleep in your room?
Exactly.
You know.
And yet you made it through Jaws.
I did, although I damn near drowned, as you know, Rick.
Yep.
My damn boogie board. I thought it was him.
That was it.
I thought it was him. Damn near died.
Have a good vacation.
Thank you, sir. And kill it on Friday.
Well, I hope you have a plan B for when you come back in case the show's not here anymore.
Rick Bentley, your Friday host next week, right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 at AM 1180 KERN, where we're streaming live at KERNradio.com. Coming up, the Lemonade Kids, a group of children out in Old Stockdale that raise money for Honor Flight. They're coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, sir. That was great. Yeah, I just watched this thing. Couldn't have been 30, 45 seconds long. And I'm like, people really put down money to watch that for 2 hours? I couldn't even watch. When the guy hit the lawnmower, I had to turn my head.
Well, I'm not saying I don't. Oh, I see.
That's my pill
Yeah,
notification.
it's, you know.
I got to take my drugs.
Again, the broken glass in the ice is the one I cringe at the most.
Oh, yes.
Because, that's a real.
It really is. That happens a lot.
I don't worry about a ceiling fan taking me up, but
right.
I think I'm big enough that it's not going to lift me. But that glass thing, oh no.
Yeah, no, that happens a lot. It really does.
Yeah.
And then the lazy bartenders who don't want to empty out the thing will just like, oh, I'll see it and work around it. And
Well, have fun.
thank you, sir.
I'll send you a note, email about everything for next week.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Have a good weekend.
You too. You have a good week.
Thank you.
Died after getting trapped in a storm drain during heavy rainfall and flooding on the east coast.
I'm walking on sunshine. Are they here?
Yeah.
How many are there?
Kids were playing in the rain Thursday when floodwaters
And then we're
rushed
gonna have to
into
try and
the
figure out a way
area.
for the stream
New Jersey saw
to get
heavy
all 3
rain
of
flood
them.
sections of the subway and
I think you did.
the National
I think that does it.
No. They can see them,
Might be
but we only have one microphone. You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
So what I think I'm gonna need to do is just set this up over here without any of them on
Using the
mic.
headset?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it should funnel all of their voices through that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Mike Maggart.
Russian President
Rick is always
Dmitry
fun. Has
Medvedev.
he seen the Netflix
Medvedev
biopic
and
called
Trump have
Hitchcock?
feuded
It's a behind-the-scenes
online in
story of
recent
making a movie.
days.
Psycho.
Authorities have launched a manhunt after a shooting at a Montana bar left 4 people dead.
No, it's a
State
documentary on the
investigators said the
making
shooting
of
happened Friday
Psycho.
morning at the Owl Bar.
If you're living with pain, Sleep Factor can help.
I'm an artist and I'm in my studio. I listen to the radio all day and I'm hearing the ads about Relief Factor. And I've got pain in my neck and it's getting worse. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead and order this. 2 weeks later, I've got much better range of motion. If you're experiencing pain at a certain point in life, I would get Relief Factor.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to relieffactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining.
Hi,
MetaShare
how are
can
you?
save families up to $500
Come on in.
a month, and obviously that's a big deal, but they like it too, especially being part of something
Okay,
that reflects
I'm
their
Ralph
values
Bailey.
instead of working against
Peggy,
them. So
nice
yeah,
to
really,
meet
you
you.
can save a ton. and
How's
life
it going?
better.
Nice to meet
Imagine
you.
being
Nice to meet
happy
you.
with how you're taking care of your health care.
Nice to
Find
meet you
out
guys.
more.
Hang on, let me get everybody's names. I gotta write everybody's names down. Hang on. All right, let's go left to right. Luke?
News update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Okay.
Like Bill Robbins, an accident involving several vehicles was reported on Southwest
Danny
Highway 58
Fletcher.
and Highway 223 last night. It happened just before
And-
7:45 p.m. Three
Oh,
vehicles
that's
went over an
easy.
embankment to overturn. There was heavy traffic in the area for
And you guys
hours.
are
The
just
Kern
hangers
County
on.
Fire Department as
You don't
well as
want to talk or
ambulances
say
were
anything?
there. It's unknown if there were any
Well, let me at
injuries.
least
CHP is
let me ID
investigating
you
the
at
cause
least.
of the crash. The man who allegedly struck and killed a motorcycle rider in Taft has surrendered to the Kern County Sheriff's Office. 48-year-old Alejandro Padilla Jr. turned himself in at Kern County Superior Courthouse. He had his attorney with him. The victim has been identified as 47-year-old Joe
She's your
Paul
daughter?
Cora Jr.
Get out of here.
10:45 Sunday morning, there was a collision between a motorcycle and a pickup.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I really did think you were.
Pickup driver fled. the
All
scene.
right. So how long have you guys been doing this?
Charges including hit and run causing death and vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence. The woman is dead after a two-vehicle wreck
Yeah.
that happened in Wasco. Police say it occurred a little before
So this is the
11:30
first year
a.m.
you've done it?
Tuesday at the intersection
Really?
of Highway 43 and 10th Street.
Okay.
EMS arrived a little later and performed life-saving measures, but the woman who was driving one
And
of
it
the vehicles
was
did not
yesterday
survive. She's been
from 1
identified
to
as
3.
63-year-old Maria de Ariola de Martinez. Wasco police are investigating the cause
In
of
Old
the crash.
Stockdale.
Jastro Park will have its power
All-
shut down
you all
next
live
week
out
for
there?
renovations. According to the city of Bakersfield, power will be cut off from August 4th through August 8th.
Why'd you
While
pick
the
Old
pavilion
Stockdale?
is set for construction, Spray Park will be closed as well. There will be no lighting at the park and no electricity. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour
Okay.
or when it breaks on News Talk
Okay.
96.1
All right.
and AM 1180.
Where do you all go to
KERN.
school?
What do you think? This is the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over
What'd
your
you
nice
say,
side plate
Centennial?
suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk.
All right. Try to stay as close to the
96.1
mic
and
as you
AM
can.
1180
And we didn't use
KERN.
headphones because you're on TV, actually. You're on YouTube now. We'll go about 10
Call or
minutes.
text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this first day of August. We still got lots to do in the next 2 hours. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll get into the Ghislaine Maxwell situation. I don't understand why this story just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, but there's been a new twist. She's been moved out of the hardcore prison in Florida to Club Fed in Texas. And of course, this follows her sitting down with the second in command of the Department of Justice, which just reeks of some kind of quid pro quo. We'll unpack that. Then coming up at the 5, Kamala Harris was on Stephen Colbert last night. We've got a couple of bites from that. We got 3 bites from that. We'll hear from the would-be president of the United States. And Donald Trump has reinstituted the fitness test that I bet none of y'all have taken. I bet even you, Mr. Burdick, didn't take the fitness test.
I dang sure did.
Did you? At
One thing I
31?
can't pass is pull-ups. That's the only thing I couldn't do.
Yeah, I couldn't do it either. You had to do 13. I think I got to 7. And I was in pretty good shape when I was a little kid. But yeah, but that's outstanding. I really think it is. And people are arguing that it's body shaming and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of your health begins, believe it or not, at your age. It really, really does. The habits that you create, you take into your childhood. Please stand by. Kim Whitaker from Honor Flight, believe it or not. And I bet she's talking about you guys. Lemonade, Big Kids High School seniors on their way to their full ride colleges and or military academies. Several teams of 4 Dimension Dream Builders. I think you were ex-coordinators, the teams. Do you guys have any idea what she's talking about?
Maybe
Do y'all know
slightly.
do y'all know what she's talking about? Kim, you're trying to tell us something. Call the show at 842-5376. In the meantime, I've got the Lemonade Kids live in studio. Let me see. There's no way I get this right. I got Luke Tobias with me from Garces High School. Ralph Bailey, ladies and gentlemen. I got Danny. I can't read my own writing. Danny Fletcher from Centennial. It's 2 for 2. And Rosie Rodriguez, of course, from Miramonte. Thank Thank you. Thank you very much. Tell these guys what you're up to, what you've been doing, what you did yesterday.
So yesterday we hosted a lemonade stand in Old Stockdale, and the goal of the lemonade stand was to raise money for the Kern County Honor Flight to send veterans to Washington, D.C. to see their war memorials.
Yeah, that's outstanding. It is I don't know if you guys know this, but it is a huge, huge, huge part of my career. I got a little plaque up there for the work that we've done. In 8 years, we've raised over $300,000. Huh?
There's a whole bunch behind you too.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff behind us as well. Each year, coming up in September, as a matter of fact, we raise money. Last year, we raised $53,000. We do it each and every year. And so what you guys are doing is so incredibly important. How did 3 kids from 3 different high schools come together on this thing?
Yeah, so this is an annual thing. We started this with a few other kids from her.
And who is Mikey?
She is our founder of the program.
She's Jim Burke's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah. And put you all together and
Yeah. So every year, the Ford Dream Builders class, more and more come out, and now it's just a thing.
yeah. How much money did you guys raise?
$6,000 yesterday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
In a matter of hours?
Yeah.
Selling lemonade.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
Yeah.
Have you
and-
thought about going into business? Good
Yes.
googly moogly.
Actually.
Wow. Was it just people just from all kind of neighborhoods just coming and
Yeah, so we've been advertising the event on all of our social medias and any platform. Us 3 actually were on KVAK at Sunrise and KVAK 17 to talk about the event. And so I think just that publicity and the tradition of it all, like we had a really big turnout this
yeah.
year.
Have you had an opportunity to meet some of the veterans and some of the guys that have gone on Honor Flight and talk to them about just how life-changing it really truly is for these guys?
Yeah, we had a couple of veterans stop by yesterday actually to support the lemonade stand, and there was a couple that were obviously helping us run things with the Honor Flight.
Yeah.
So it was great to see them and to really put names to faces to see, okay, we're sending you to Washington, D.C., and really makes it more personal.
Yeah,
More real.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So how much lemonade did you sell? How much lemonade did you make?
So they had a lot of containers of lemonade that they were pouring. We had a lemonade crew that was writing little inspirational quotes on each cup. So it was
Nice.
very nice.
And how much was the lemonade? Like $10 a cup?
$2.
$2 with free
$2 and
cookies.
you raised $6,000?
Yes,
Yeah.
A lot of people were actually just coming out to donate.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
generous.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you guys thought about getting involved with Honor Flight and maybe going on an Honor Flight as a guardian perhaps as you get older?
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
It'd be a great opportunity. Washington, D.C. is just beautiful.
It
I've
is.
had the pleasure of going myself and really seeing those war memorials. It's really incredible to see the veterans past being honored.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, my dad was in the Navy and my grandfather was in the Navy. And I've had a lot of family, like veterans, and it's just so cool seeing them and seeing what they've done and all the veterans out there.
Yeah.
It's really cool, really personal.
Yeah, it really is. It's stunning. We had on the last Honor Flight that I went on, we had a World War II veteran who was 100 years old. And we were at Fort McHenry and he was in a wheelchair and there were a group of kids who were on a tour. And I called the kids over here and I said, guess how old this gentleman is? And they said 70, 80, 75, 82. And I said, Billy, tell him how old you are. And he said, I'm 100 years old and I served in World War II. And these kids' eyes were like plates. And you would have thought he was Michael Jordan. They were all like, can we
get your
can we
autograph?
touch you? Yeah.
Oh.
Can we? It was amazing. It really, really was.
Those guys were real superheroes, that generation.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of kids, they look up to Superman and Batman and Spider-Man, but those guys, they're the real heroes, those that fought for us and served for us.
That's outstanding that you guys are aware of that. It really is, because that's one of the things that we've talked about is getting Honor Flight into the schools and educating you guys on World War II and Korea and Vietnam and how badly the Vietnam veterans were treated when they came home, because Vietnam was a very controversial war where half the country didn't think we should be there, half the country thought we should be there. And these guys were literally spat upon when they came back. They were told not to wear their uniforms. They were treated so badly. And to see them now in their 70s and their 80s go back to Washington and be absolutely embraced everywhere they go. They get standing ovations in the airport. It's just
beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It really
They
is.
deserve it.
It's really rewarding. Tell us about yourself. You're a Garza student.
Yes,
Where
sir.
do you want to go to college?
My dream school is University of Southern California. I plan on maybe one day attending the Marshall School of Business and majoring in business admin.
I'm a Bruin fan, so I hate you.
That's so yes,
Beat the
that's our
Bruins.
mine.
No, it's
Right
a,
on.
yeah.
I don't know.
University of Spoiled Children. No, I'm kidding. It's a great school. It is a great school. It's got one of the great journalism schools in the country, as a matter of fact. And where are you going? Coming out of Centennial.
UCLA, hopefully.
Yeah, atta
And,
girl.
yeah, actually, a few days ago, I just went and toured the whole campus, so it was
Yeah.
really awesome. But I want to go poli-sci and then law school.
Nice. Good for you. And Rosie?
UCLA is also at the top of my list, so go Bruins. Sorry,
Good.
Luke.
Outstanding.
I'm hoping to. I'm not sure what I would like to major in yet, but maybe psychology. I'm looking into that a little bit more.
Yeah. Here's the key to life, if you ask me, and take it for whatever it's worth. Find something that you love to do and figure out a way to get paid every 2 weeks doing it. I'm telling you, it's really, it makes life fun. You guys intend to do this again next year?
Well, that'll be the responsibility of the next Ford Dream.
Are you guys all seniors?
Yeah,
You're all seniors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If
All right.
I'm here, I definitely want to come out, support, donate,
Yeah.
anything I can.
Okay. Well, congratulations. This is a wonderful thing that you're doing. You have no idea what it means to these veterans. Keep up the great work. Good luck at SC and good luck in Westwood. You're going to love it. It's a great part of us, LA. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you
for having us.
No problem. Thanks, guys. We got to step aside for just a moment. When we come back, we'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. Bottom of the hour, we'll get into the Ghislaine Maxwell situation. She's in a comfy prison where Jen Shaw is resting. Do you ladies know who Jen Shaw is? You don't watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Well, that's where Ghislaine Maxwell is going. A pedophile, a pimp, a trafficker, and she's kicking it with some woman on a television show. That makes sense. And we'll talk about Kamala Harris being on Stephen Colbert last night. And the Dodgers start a 3-game road trip with the Tampa Bay Rays. And Hard Knocks is Tuesday. The Buffalo Bills are the subject this year. We'll get into all that. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at KernRadio.com. Great job, guys. That was great. Very nicely done. Absolutely. Change that. Can you change that?
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. On the Monday edition of the First Look program,
Yeah,
we have the
I
latest
changed
on our
this.
very disappointing illegal fireworks statistics. This
Really?
bizarre
Oh, I bet you-
double
I should've
murder of the guy
said
from
that.
Bakersfield in Arkansas. We'll talk jobs with America's jobs.
Let's take a
that are
picture.
current, and we'll back all of that up with state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m.
I look like a bum. I wear my
First Look with Scott
Jackie
Cox.
Robinson. I got to wear my Jackie Robinson jersey on Friday.
And AM 1180
Let me get in the middle.
Look who's here. It's the Valprado family from Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen. Gino, I know everything.
No problem.
Thank you so much for having
No
us.
problem. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you guys. Good luck. Good luck. Thank you. That a baby. That a baby. That's right.
I know your passion is the delicatessen.
The what?
What I love about it is that we have lunch in the restaurant. So next door into our
Yeah?
yellow line.
Is that right?
Our best sellers,
Tell your dad that's child abuse. That's not right. You should have to put up with that. All right. Thanks for coming in, guys. All right. Good luck. Thank you, guys. All right. Nice meeting you guys.
Plenty of details and all the happiness at Luigi's. Go to
Oh,
our
that was
social
cool.
media
$6
at
grand?
Shop Luigi's on
At
Facebook
$2 a
or
cup?
Luigi's Bakersfield. on
What's the
Instagram.
math on that?
Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen.
3,000 cups?
Hey, it's Matt, your lead filter trusted pro.
Oh, which
Gutters
they
are
got
an
you.
often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged,
Yeah.
overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous.
God,
but when
if
you
they
get
do
lead
six-
filter,
in
you'll
2
never have to
hours,
worry
we can
about
do,
cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water.
I shouldn't
And
have
it's
bagged on
backed
IC.
by a lifetime transfer with no clause warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate. And
Oh, is he part? You think he's part of Jeremy Tobias' family?
/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Because there are two Tobias families in
Every day,
town.
Dave spends $5 on
But he goes to Garza, so of course he is.
But for less
Oh,
than
I should have
$1
asked
a
him if
day,
that's
he
his
could
dad.
protect
That
his
is his
family with
dad.
a
God
$500,000 life insurance
His
policy
dad
from
used to be a
Select
source
Quote.
of mine. He
And
used to
for
work
about
out in
the same
Delano.
$15 a month he spends on,
Honey, what's our password?
God dang it.
he could have a life policy from Select Quote. But when his wife asked him,
Honey,
That's-
have you
that's
looked
too
into life
bad.
insurance yet?
Dave
Ooh,
said,
what is that
"Whoa,
from?
How are we going to afford life insurance?
From
If
where?
only Dave
Ooh.
knew that Select Quote could find him a policy for up to 50% less than he's found online. That's about the same amount as one of his streaming subscriptions. Select Quote is a broker. They know which carrier has the right policy for Dave's situation. So he'll have money left over for
A karaoke machine.
Oh my God.
Auto-tune.
I'm canceling your credit card.
Select Quote. We shop, you save.
Get your free quote now at selectquote.com or call 800-341-6060. That's 800-341-6060. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What it is, what it is, what it is. From side to side. I am a moron. I really am. I bet that was Jeremy Tobias' son. What it is, what it is, what it is. And the fact that he went to Garza should have definitely clued me in that was Jeremy's son. If in fact it is, and I'm betting it is. I've known his dad for like 20 years. I knew his dad when he was working out in Delano, and I was the North County correspondent for the Californian. He was the, wasn't the city clerk? I think it was the assistant city manager. I don't know, but I just ended up talking to him a lot, and I've known him for years. And when we did Garza's football, I used to see him all the time. I bet that was his youngest son, and I just totally went by my mind. Just not very bright. 842-5376. But that's outstanding what those kids are doing. And for them to raise $6,000 in 2 hours puts a lot of pressure on you guys. I'll tell you that, because our fundraiser is coming up either late September or early October. And we're trying to bust $60,000 this year. I really do. I think this is going to be a big year because for the first time, I'm going to really kind of reach out. I've never really done that. I send out text messages to people in my phone, but I've never really reached out to businesses and corporations, and we're going to do that this year and try to bring in some really big money for Honor Flight. But that really is, those are three really good kids. And you know how I feel about teenagers, so it's always good to see three teenagers with their heads on straight and a sense of community, and you could tell by talking with them a sense of history and what these veterans mean to us as a country. And that's heartwarming. It really is. 842-5376. Who is that right there, Chris Burdick, that you got to meet that I didn't get to meet?
I cannot remember her name right now, but she was cutting some videos, I guess, in KGEO. I'm not sure exactly for what. Billy was just kind of introducing me very quickly and let me know what she was doing behind me.
Well, I thought she was a new staffer.
She might be. I'm not 100% sure. I think her name was Julie, if I remember correctly.
And how did he introduce you? As a new staffer? Or?
No, he just said, this is so-and-so. She'll be cutting videos in KGEO behind you. Just want to let you know that's why she's in there. So I was like, okay, cool.
Are those our commercials, maybe? Because whatever happened to that? We cut those how long ago?
I have no idea what's going on with those, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we're supposed to be on TV soon. Not that I'm looking forward to that, but did you notice that in the and I'm not complaining. I swear I'm not complaining because I looked horrible. I needed a haircut. I needed a shave, and I looked ridiculous. I was wearing sweats. But in the Valley Fever campaign for television, completely cut out. It's David Torres and a young girl from Highland, and what's his name? Quo. I forget how to pronounce his name, and a fourth person. Oh, and Bryn Kerrigan, our health department. But Bailey, completely cut out. But I can't complain. I was on a billboard. People kept telling me they saw me on a billboard, and I was on the front page of the paper on the top of the fold. So I just thought it was funny that they cut out the ugly black guy. A wise decision, don't get me wrong, but I still found it comical. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
Hey, Ralph, what's the name of that book that you were discussing on Thursday about the women exposing the regime and women? I was driving and couldn't write it down. Thanks. That's from David.
The women who what now?
There's the book that you were talking about on Thursday about women exposing the quote-unquote regime.
I don't remember, but you can go back on YouTube and watch the Thursday show. That's what I would do if I you. What was Thursday? The 30th? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yesterday,
31st. Yeah, go back to yesterday's show. I'm wearing the date will appear, 31st, but I'm wearing a purple shirt. Was I wearing my purple polo yesterday? Yeah, I think I was wearing purple. Anyway, the date will show up. I would just go back to that. And if you remember what time it was in the program, you can kind of slide the thing on the bottom, little red button to find out. But I don't know. A book about women who were talking about a regime. What regime?
Exposing some sort of regime. Not sure exactly what.
I have no clue what he's talking about. Sorry. No, I can't come up with it. But feel free to either get in the chat room or call back or text back. What else you got?
Dumbest conspiracy theory that I love about entertainment. Disney made the movie Frozen so that when you Google Disney Frozen, Walt Disney being cryogenically frozen, which is a conspiracy, doesn't pop up the first part of the search results.
That's not a conspiracy. Walt Disney really is cryogenically frozen. He really is. So is the head of Ted Williams. Those are facts. Now, whether they're ever going to come back to life, we'll certainly never know because it'll be 100 years from now. And who knows? You know, when you look at medicine and science, you know, they used to, when Benjamin Franklin, when the founding fathers were around and you were ill, they would bleed you. It's called sanguination. And they thought that that would get rid of the disease. So, I mean, we have no idea where the advances of science and medicine will be 50, 100 years from now. You know what I'm saying? And think about all the medications that have been discovered in the last 150 years. Penicillin. We got rid of polio. We got rid of measles for a little bit, but then people started doubting vaccinations. And Papajenko, look what we got now. Now it's spreading again because people, because of COVID now, are totally anti-vax, which, you know, hurt my career at one point while this was all going on and y'all were all anti-vax and I was pro-vax. What do you expect from a kid that grew up for 22 years with a doctor? You really think I was going to leave that house an anti-vaxxer? Are you serious? I mean, that's an impossibility. No doctor's kid is ever going to grow up being anti-vax. You grow up with science. You grew up with your dad giving you shots. Well, I know my dad gave me some shots one summer, but that's a whole body story that I don't even want to tell, even on my last day before vacation. But let's just had something to do with. Anyway, did that go over your head, Chris?
No, I get what you mean by that.
Okay, I'm not that subtle, I guess. What else you got?
Did the presidential fitness test through middle school, and I'm only 24.
Did you really? That's amazing. So how long has it been gone? No, come on. He didn't do the fitness test. What, 10 years ago? Nah. During Obama? What is 10 years ago? 15?
I think that's when it was cut out, was Obama.
Yeah.
I think he was the one who initially said, we're done with this.
Even though Michelle was doing all that fitness work and all that nonsense? Huh. Well, Trump has reinstated it, and I think it's outstanding. I really do. One of the biggest health problems that we have is that not only is like 80% of our community obese, but overwhelming, I don't know what the direct stats are, but an overwhelming majority of our children are fat. That just doesn't make any sense. And I think it's the responsibility of the parents. you know, get those kids active, get them out of the house. Man, my mother trained us to get out of the house because if you were in the house, then you were mopping, you were cleaning the bathroom, you were doing something. So we wanted to stay out of the house, and we could stay out of the house all day long until when, Chris?
When the streetlights came on.
If my black behind was not in the house and the streetlights were on, there was an angry black woman in the middle of the lawn screaming, "Ralph Emerson Bailey Jr., get your behind in here." And, you know, Gary and the boys like, "Oh, Ralph, your mother's calling you." I'd have to put my tail between my legs and ride my back down the block because Harriet was waiting in the driveway. Jack, get your behind in the house. You see those street lights on? Matter with you? Got me out here in my robe screaming at you. You better get in that house, boy. God, I pray she's not listening. And she might be today, as a matter of fact. One more. Let's get out of it. No, we don't have time. We'll do it on the backside. We're headed into the backside. We'll get into the Ghislaine Maxwell details. Ask why. Coming up at 5, Kamala Harris was on Stephen Colbert. You will hear from the failed presidential candidate about her future after declaring she was not going to run for governor. And we'll talk a little sports. Dodgers are underway. No scores, please. I'm DVRing. Got that and Love After Lockup tonight, baby. Big night for the kid. And Greg Abbott, governor of Texas. I think the first domino to fall has enacted a law, no phones in classrooms. And I think that's outstanding.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Authorities have launched a manhunt after a shooting at a Montana bar left 4 people dead. State investigators say the shooting happened Friday morning at the Owl Bar in Anaconda. Public records show that the suspect lived next door to the bar. His home was cleared by a SWAT team, but he was still at large and believed to be armed, prompting warnings from officials to avoid the area. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is shutting down after its government funding was terminated by the Senate. Despite extraordinary efforts of millions of Americans who called, wrote, and petitioned Congress to preserve federal funding for CPB, we now face the difficult reality of closing our operations, according to CPB President Patricia Harrison. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 542 points. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. An accident involving several vehicles was reported on Southwest Highway 58 and Highway 223 last night. It happened just before 7:45 p.m. 3 vehicles went over an embankment, 2 overturned. There was heavy traffic in the area for hours. The Kern County Fire Department as well as ambulances were there. It's unknown if there were any injuries. CHP is investigating the cause of the crash. Jastrow Park will have its power shut down next week for renovations. According to the city of Bakersfield, power will be cut off from August 4th through August 8th, while the pavilion is set for construction. The Spray Park will be closed as well. There will be no lighting at the park and no electricity. I'm Bill Robbins in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour or when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Attention, Medicare beneficiaries here in Kern County. If you are eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with minimal wait times and prompt referral authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today at 661-554-4544. Let us help you understand your healthcare options for 2025. Call today, 661-554-4544. That's 661-554-4544. Get the information you need and the coverage you deserve. For accommodations of persons with special needs at meetings, call 661-554-4544, TTY 711.
Monday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will break down the absolute latest in the ongoing tariff battles as we approach another deadline. Plus, continuing revelations surrounding Russia and the disinformation campaign. What is the impact of that? We will continue to break that down. All that and more, we'll break it down for you on Monday edition, Clay and Buck.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Charlie Kirk Show, weekdays at 6 p.m. on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the
Do schools even have dances anymore? Beyond obviously the prom and all that. But I mean, we would have dances through the year. The favorite was what do they call it? The Sadie Hawkins dance?
Sadie Hawkins.
Where the girls had to ask the boys. I, of course, went stag. No, I'm kidding. Maria Golden asked me. And do you know who Maria Golden is married to now? Maria Golden asked me, and then I asked Maria Golden to my junior prom, even though she went to Buckley and I was going to Brentwood. We were really good friends when I was at Buckley, and I didn't have a date from anybody at Brentwood. Well, nobody there wanted to date my ass. And I dated Maria Golden. She is married to Jerry Weintraub, who is the son of, or is his father Jerry Weintraub? No, it's the father's Jerry Weintraub. She married Michael Weintraub, who we went to high school with. They were high school. I don't think they dated in high school, actually. I think they met after high school. But Michael is you can Facebook him. He is the heir apparent to Jerry Weintraub's incredible fortune. And Jerry Weintraub was the guy that he executive produced most of the George Clooney films, what do they call them? Ocean's 11 pictures. He's the one that got Sinatra to come back on tour. He got Elvis to come back on tour. He was gargantuan, absolutely gargantuan. So yet another woman I've saved from poverty. Not that Maria Golden was ever going to marry me. That's crazy, but just saying. So as I said at the top of the show, somehow, some way, Ghislaine Maxwell has been given a solid. Been given a favor. She has been moved out of a maximum security prison in Florida, and now she is in a prison that has no gates. The rooms are essentially dorm rooms. She was in a cubicle down in Florida. Just to give you some kind of idea of the white-collar criminals, the nonviolent criminals that are residing in this Texas place, Jen Shaw, I have no idea who she is, but apparently she was a big star on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She got popped for fraud. She's doing time there. And some other famous person I never heard of, so I wasn't going to even write her name down. But this is all due to the Bureau of Prisons. So you say, well, Ralph, why are you screaming about this coming back on the Trump administration? Because who does the Bureau of Prisons answer to? The Department of Justice. And yes, technically, constitutionally, the Department of Justice is a complete separate entity from the White House. But come on. Is that ever true in any administration? But certainly in this one, it's not true. But that's never been the case. That's never been the case. We know that because of what Biden did and how he was colluding with Adams up in New York and Fani Willis down in Georgia. We know that because John Kennedy hired his brother to head the Department of Justice. Like, that wasn't hand in glove. Come on. It's one of the stupidest things that administrations and Washington try to convince us, that somehow DOJ is completely separate from the White House, and that the Attorney General doesn't meet and answer and respond to the President of the United States. They're their own separate entity, and that's a bunch of crap, no matter whether it's Democrat or Republican. It just doesn't matter. And that's why this thing is another self-inflicted wound by the Trump administration. Because if you thought that the MAGA people were upset before, if you thought that the victims' family, the Giuffres and all these other families were upset before, you ain't seen nothing yet, Jack. When they found out about this, one of the families wrote, please stand by. They wrote, this is the justice system failing victims right before our eyes. The American public should be enraged by the preferential treatment being given to a pedophile and a criminally charged child sex offender. The Trump administration should not credit a word Maxwell says, as the government itself sought charges against Maxwell for being a serial liar. Where have I heard that before? I've been screaming that for weeks. For weeks. I'm like, why are they even going down to talk to this woman? She's perjured herself. She's willing to put her hand on a Bible in a courtroom and lie. And you think with a 20-year stint hanging over her head that she's going to tell the truth? She's going to say anything she can to get out of jail, plain and simple. And apparently she must have said something, because Todd Blanche, second in command at the Department of Justice, Donald Trump's personal attorney, goes down, meets with her for 9 hours, and magically, less than 72 hours later, she's laying on a cushy bunk in a dorm room in Texas, as opposed to the cubicle she should be rotting in Florida. And even if it wasn't a quid pro quo, it certainly stinks of one, and it certainly has these families riled. Think about if you're one of the families of the many victims, particularly the Giuffre family, whose daughter committed suicide at the age of 41 after this nightmare. I'm telling you, teenage girls are in a weird way just surviving. We talk about this all the time, the changes that they have to go through. Boys just have growth spurts and just have to know how to ask a girl out. But young women are going through changes in their body, physiological changes, their menstrual cycle. All of a sudden, they've got breasts. Men are looking at them differently. They might have to wait off pedophiles, all the things that women have to deal with. And on top of that, you've got this woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, hurting them, knowing as a woman, she's absolutely destroying these girls. Ghislaine Maxwell is as responsible for the death of Virginia Giuffre as much as Virginia Giuffre, who took her own life. These girls get into these situations and they're destroyed as adults. Destroyed. God, what did I do? And sex now is like a dirty act to them. I just and this administration, and like I said earlier this week, or maybe even last week, the idea that Trump, his answer to clemency or a pardon isn't, absolutely not. Absolutely freaking not. The fact that he's like, well, I haven't thought about it, and I could, you never know. What? Have you lost your ever-loving mind? As I said again earlier this week, you want to lose your base finally? You've gone through a whole lot, Jackson. You've been through hell and high water, and these people have stood by your sorry ass for a long, long time. But if you give that woman clemency, or if you have the audacity to pardon her, or while we're on the topic, Sean Combs, as he's thinking about doing, you are through, sir. I know you think you're the Teflon Don, but I don't think people are going to allow you to pardon a pedophile, pardon a pimp, the woman who was the organizer of gathering young girls for the delight of her boyfriend. I don't think you can recover that. I don't think John Gotti could pass that, Jack. I don't think Ronald Reagan could survive that. And it blows my mind that nobody in the White House isn't saying, sir, your answer has to be, there's no way in hell we're going to give clemency or a pardon to this woman. Maybe he gets away with Diddy, because he only has a couple of months to do anyway, or a couple of years. What's he going to get? Like 20, 24 months, something like that? Maybe you could get away with giving Diddy a solid. He might even make some more inroads with black folks. But Ghislaine Maxwell? Talk about self-destruction in an administration that is firing on all cylinders. Let me just say this. You better hope that these tariffs, I was watching an expert last night who claims once they kick in about 6 months, it's going to cost the average American about $2,400 more just to live. You better pray, because it hurts me that with all the positives that this administration has accomplished in 7 months, that this kind of idiot mistake could screw you up. That is the great mystery of Watergate. That is the great mystery of Watergate. At the time in 1972, when Richard Nixon was reelected, after making one of the greatest comebacks in American history, he loses to Kennedy in 60. He comes out here and runs for governor in 62 or 64, I think it's 62, loses to Pat Brown, Jerry Brown's dad, and says the famous line, "You won't have Tricky Dick to kick around anymore." And yet 6 years later, he wins the nomination, which is ridiculously rare. Look through history. Very rarely do you get two shots at the nomination. You can fail to get the nomination and try again and win. Ronald Reagan tried 3 times, but very rare. I can only think of about 3 guys who've lost the nomination and come back and won it. Grover Cleveland, Richard Nixon, and Donald Trump. But I'm not sure he can survive this. I really don't. Who you got?
Blake is on the line.
Blake, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hey, Ralph, I love what you're saying, man. I think you're spot on, but I don't think the base is going to react at all. He already told them, hey, I don't want your support if you're going to be, if you're not going to drop Epstein. I don't want you. You're weak, and I don't want your support.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything to lose. The guy, what's he going to lose? He's termed out.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop. Whatever he does, he's got immunity. So he doesn't care. He doesn't care. She's a minimum security. That answers everything right there.
Yeah. Quid pro quo. She did something.
But you know what? I'm glad that you're speaking. You're hollering. So good job, Ralph. Good job.
All right. Thanks, Blake. All right. Let's go ahead and take a break. I hate when I yell. I can't even watch when I yell. Do you know I've been watching the show and I've yet to get past the first segment? I don't know what it is. I was like that when I was an anchor, when I was a weekend anchor. I told you the story when the consultant came and she said, well, do you watch and criticize yourself? I go, no, I never watch my tapes. And she's like, what? She said, son, you should study your tapes and learn your mannerisms and see what you're doing wrong and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Never watched. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Quick break. Come right back. Edit into the 5. You'll hear from former Vice President and failed presidential candidate Kamala Harris. And we'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. No scores. No scores. Who did Big Dog tell me took the CK. 22 took the bump today. They're in Tampa taking on the Rays. And then we're home for a pretty cool homestand. I think it's the Cardinals and the Toronto Blue Jays for a 6-game homestand. Quick timeout. It's the Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1.
Best maker.
You got one?
I got one in there.
This cake is killer.
I was just taking my first bite of it.
Oh, it's killer. Did she make this? She didn't make this.
No, I think it's from somewhere. I just can't remember where she told me it was from.
And no idea who that woman was, huh?
What happened?
No idea who that woman was. Just taking video?
Yeah, I have no idea what she was actually doing. But, I'm assuming that she's going to be working with the company at some point if he's letting her.
And he's introducing her to people.
Here in the studio.
And he's introducing her to people.
Yeah. I don't think she was working on something. She had her phone hooked up, like connected to the TV like it was a camera. So I'm wondering if she was literally like making videos for something.
Huh.
Not exactly sure what, but it is what it is.
You're staying retirement in the mug like I strongly suggest you call Daniel at 395-9400, 395-9400, or tune in on Thursdays when he joins us at 4:30, talking about retirement, the stocks, deficit, what's going on in DC, and most importantly, how it impacts you and your wallet. Tune in on Thursdays, 4:30 for Daniel Petrie with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Inc., DBA Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Every day, Dave spends $5 on.
One ultra latte with a caramel drizzle.
But for less than $1 a day, he could protect his family with a $500,000 life insurance policy from SelectQuote. And for about the same $15 a month he spends on.
Honey, what's our password to Streamflix?
He could have a life policy from SelectQuote. But when his wife asked him,
Honey, have you looked into life insurance yet?
Dave said,
Whoa, how are we going to afford life insurance?
if only Dave knew that SelectQuote could find him a policy for up to 50% less than he's found online. That's about the same amount as one of his streaming subscriptions. SelectQuote is a broker. They know which carrier has the right policy for Dave's situation. So he'll have money left over for
A karaoke machine with auto-tune.
I'm canceling your credit card.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get your free quote now at selectquote.com. or call 800-341-6060. That's 800-341-6060. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
Oh, was it really? Nobody wants me to be what they want me to be. I could have been a Commodore.
Go back and listen to the stream. You'll be able to tell.
No, that's painful. That's painful because you can't. Can they hear the music?
Very little of it. Mostly you.
Sorry about that. Sorry. What do you got there? It relaxes me. I can't understand. I don't know how I started doing this. I'm probably the only talk show host in America, literally, that actually news, political, informative in the country. I can't. It just relaxes me. I'm not trying to perform. I'm not trying to entertain you. It just kind of calms my nerves. It's not that easy doing a 3-hour broadcast, as 5 people are about to find out next week. I love turning on my regulars to host the show. So they just get a taste of what I go through about 48 weeks out of the year. Just a little taste. And that's just one day. That's just one day they're doing. You know what I'm saying? I want you to quote some of them when they leave.
Okay.
And tell me what they said.
Gotcha.
I am never doing that again. No, Kathy loves it.
Kathy loves having the 3.
She loves it. I think Teresa will love it.
Cassie loves it.
Cassie loves it. She told me the other day. She was like, after she did JR show, she was like, I'd rather do your show. Yours is longer.
The only one I think that's gonna have the biggest nerves about it, I think, is gonna
Romeo.
Only because Romeo hasn't been on as much as Rick.
True. But he's a genius.
Yeah, no, he'll get the hang of it easy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not going to be a natural. I'm just saying, out of all of them to have the nerves,
Yeah, he will be nervous coming. Yeah, you're right. It'll be like, about 3:30 when he settles in. Like the first segment might be like,
he's going to be freaking out about hitting the brakes for a sec, and then
yeah.
which is normal. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Hell, I remember when Scott was doing his show, basically on the internet from the Californian, and I filled in for a week, and I used to do television, and I was nervous as hell. I really was. I didn't know what to wear, and
when you go from short segment to long segment too, it's kind of difficult that way.
Yeah. Anything left on the board before we get into Kamala Harris and her debut on television?
No, he cannot be a Commodore. Make it stop.
Make it stop. Come on. You guys don't love my singing? Seems to me, girl, you know I done all I can. Yeah, you're right. What else you got?
Ralph, why don't you go get yourself an e-bike? It would be a great way to get around. You can still Uber when needed.
I am too old to be fooling around on a bike that goes fast. Can't you see me eating it on that bike? Don't you think in the first 6 months I would eat it on that bike? It's like having a motorcycle. I would never do a motorcycle. Our Cascabel, one of our Latino employees is down on our Spanish station, rides a motorcycle, How many times has he put that thing down?
I remember
at least 3.
Yeah, I remember at least 2 or 3. But
I remember, and fairly recently.
yeah, that's the one.
Like within a year, he laid that thing down.
But none of them have really been his fault.
That's not the point. You've been in a car accident. You're sitting right here. You get into a motorcycle accident, and dude, isn't that how? What's her name's guy? No, he was in a Camaro. Yeah, he wasn't. But no, it's too dangerous. I did think about getting on a bicycle just to get some exercise around my neighborhood, and I wouldn't have to walk to Komodo. If I got a bike with my phone, would I get credit for steps?
Probably. Well, actually, that's a good question. I don't know.
My legs are moving. They move more on a bike than they do in a walk.
Based on speed.
Like
the step counter, is it based on speed, or do you know?
No, you're asking me. I have no idea. You should see my walk count the last month. It's destroyed my year. There were 3 days where I had less than 50 steps. 3 straight days where I had less than 50. So I had for 3 days, I had 150 steps, which if I had that in one day, would be shocking. But I was hopping around my apartment. And now I think there really is something. I just went on my walk, and there really is something wrong with my fourth toe. I was like, wow, I'm just now feeling that. I got to go see Etch. I really do, unfortunately. I was going to blow it off because I'm almost walking. I'm almost 100%. I was like, I'm not going to see a foot doctor. But then on that the first walk was fine. The second walk was like, ooh, wait a minute. So I haven't gone on another. That's why I'm not going to go on one now. But I do have to take a break, come back. You'll hear from Vice President Kamala Harris when we return. Don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM.
Oh, God damn.
KERNradio.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A weak jobs report isn't playing well at the White House.
President Donald Trump on Friday ordered the firing of the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, hours after a government report showed that hiring had slowed down significantly over the past 3 months. The Bureau of Labor Statistics on Friday morning reported that the U.S. economy added just 73,000 jobs in July. It also said it had revised the May and June numbers, and they turned out to be lower than previously announced by more than 200,000 jobs. Donald Trump said the numbers were rigged to make him and Republicans look bad. Bill Alexander, Washington.
Another crew is headed to the International Space Station.
3, 2, 1. Mission full power.
The crew rocketed from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. They replaced colleagues who launched to space in March as fill-ins for NASA's 2 stuck astronauts. The botched Starliner demo forced Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams to switch to SpaceX to get back from the space station. That was more than 9 months after departing on what should have been a week-long trip. This SpaceX capsule should reach the orbiting lab this weekend and stay for at least 6 months. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting has been a cornerstone of American culture for 3 generations. Now it says it will begin taking steps toward its own closure after being defunded by the U.S. Senate. This marks the end of a nearly 6-decade era in which it fueled the production of educational programming, cultural content, and even emergency alerts. Conservatives have long criticized it for liberal bias. On Wall Street, the Dow dropped 542 points, the Nasdaq lower by 472, the S&P down 101. More at townhall.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into.
Is that Billy's blue car?
MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save families up to $500 a month, and obviously that's a big deal, but they like it too, especially being part of something that reflects their values instead of working against them. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. Find out more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. If you're living with pain, see how relief
Factor can help.
When my back got injured very bad, I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Looked at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to relieffactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. An accident involving several vehicles was reported on Southwest Highway 58 and Highway 223 last night. It happened just before 7:45 p.m. 3 vehicles went over an embankment, 2 overturned. There's heavy traffic in the area for hours. The Kern County Fire Department as well as ambulances were there. It's unknown if there were any injuries. CHP is investigating the cause of the crash. The man who allegedly struck and killed a motorcycle rider in Taft has surrendered to the Kern County Sheriff's Office. 48-year-old Alejandro Padilla Jr. turned himself in at Kern County Superior Courthouse. He reportedly had his attorney with him. The victim has been identified as 47-year-old Joe Paul M. Gongora Jr. At around 10:45 Sunday morning, there was a collision between a motorcycle and a pickup truck in the 1000 block of Kern Street. Medical personnel said the victim died from his injuries. The pickup driver fled the scene. Padilla has been booked on charges including hit and run causing death and vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence. A woman is dead after a 2-vehicle wreck that happened in Wasco. Police say it occurred a little before 11:30 a.m. Tuesday at the intersection of Highway 43 and 10th Street. EMS arrived a little later and performed life-saving measures, but the woman who was driving one of the vehicles did not survive. She's been identified as 63-year-old Maria de Ariola de Martinez.
You know, I made myself chicken and green beans last night, but I wasn't hungry at all, so I'm just eating it tonight instead.
Yeah, because after eating that cake and I had a half a donut, I'm really not that hungry.
That's what killed it for me was I had that stupid breakfast burrito that Corey brings in the mornings, like late yesterday, and it just threw off my eating schedule. But I mean, I have
burritos every Friday.
Thursdays, yeah. He'll bring those Victor's breakfast burritos, and he'll give me one since I send him his segments every week.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get a...
They taste delicious, but they're terrible for my cholesterol.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the week as we wrap up another 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at KERNradio.com. We still got lots to do in the final hour. Talk about Donald Trump returning the fitness test to local schools all over the nation. That's always good. The Dodgers wrapping up a road trip with the Tampa Bay Rays. Clayton Kershaw is on the bump as we speak. And I am completely excited about Tuesday when Hard Knocks premieres. What's your favorite part of Hard Knocks?
That's a good question. Personally, at least the one from last year with the Giants, it was seeing all the really, really, really dumb decisions the front office made.
Mine is Cut Day.
Cut Day is a great part too.
I mean, it's.
Although I feel like this year they're going to focus around like Josh Allen and DeMar Hamlin and all those guys.
Of course, they're gonna. This is gonna be a Super Bowl commercial. Because you know the Bills are the favorite team to win the Super Bowl.
That's what everybody tells me, but I still say it's the Ravens.
Well, they just seem like they can't get over the hump. I think there are a lot of teams that could win the Super Bowl. I think the Lions could win the Super Bowl. I think if Green Bay gets on a roll, they could win the Super Bowl. I think if San Francisco is healthy, you've got to throw them in the mix. You can never count out Kansas City. Never count out Kansas City. Hell, if Harbaugh
can get that team straight, they'd be dangerous. They'd be one of those teams that wouldn't be favored, but they'd be one of those teams you would not want to see in the playoffs. I can tell you that.
Bracket buster for sure.
Yeah, and the Raiders.
Well,
so Kamala Harris was on. No, you never know. When I heard that Geno was one of 4 quarterbacks, Geno Smith is now our quarterback, was one of 4 quarterbacks with a 70% completion rating, with our kick-ass tight end, and we've added some speed on the outside, and everybody's in love with this running back we drafted. As Pop used to say, you never know. You never know. The West is tough, but, you never know. We'll see. Anyway, Kamala Harris was, in fact, on Stephen Colbert. She's got a new book coming out, 107 Days, which was the amount of time that she had to run for president. And basically, she's trying to say, I had no chance. I was up against it, blah, 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 blah. Then why did you orchestrate the coup? Then if you really thought, oh my God, I only have 107 days, you should have asked for a primary to get you ready, perhaps. Maybe that would have made her a better candidate at the end to have to go up against people. Because the only time she's ever gone up against other candidates, she didn't make it to Des Moines, Iowa. Let's don't forget that. She literally couldn't make it to the first primary. I've never even heard of that. This woman just isn't a good candidate. Here is, how many we got? 3?
We do.
Here's the first of 3. I haven't heard these, so I'll comment afterwards.
Who's leading the Democratic Party? I'm just curious.
There are lots of leaders, and
there's generally a leader of the Democratic Party. Like, oh, that's the leader of the Democratic Party. And who comes to mind?
I think there are a lot of. I'm not going to go through names because then I'm going to leave somebody out, and then I'm going to hear about it. But let me say this. I think it is a mistake for us who want to figure out how to get out and through this and get out of it, to put it on the shoulders of any one person. It's really on all of our shoulders.
That is the dumbest answer I've ever heard, and why she'll never be president. Because you know what I would have said? What would you have said?
Me.
Thank you. Thank you. Right now, as the former nominee for the presidency of the United States that represented the Democratic Party, I am the leader. And we'll find out whether I will continue to be the leader in 2028, whether or not I run. I haven't made up my mind, but I'm going to get people elected, and I'm going to lead the party into the late 20s and the early 2030s, whether I'm elected or not. And I believe that, and the reason she didn't want to name anybody is because she's thinking about running. Because any Democratic operative would have said, well, I think Gavin Newsom is one of the leaders of the party. I think Josh Shapiro is the leader of the party. I keep forgetting his name, the Illinois governor. I would have mentioned him. But she was afraid to leave off AOC and the hardcore progressive left. What kind of answer is that? And that's how vacant they are. Because if I had been a failed Republican candidate for president and went on Fox News and they asked me who is the leader of the Republican Party, I would say, well, I'm certainly one of them, along with a long bench of incredible people. Don't forget about Nikki Haley. Don't forget about J.D. Vance. Don't forget about Sarah Huckabee. We have a long list of leaders in our party, and Kamala Harris couldn't come up with one. And remember what her running mate, the brilliant Tim Walz, said. His answer was, the people. The American people are the leaders of the Democratic Party. You talk about a party, this is why I'm telling you, we have a chance to break historical trends and win back the House for an incoming president. It hasn't happened since 2002 in the wake of 9/11. They gave George Bush back his House, but it hasn't happened since. Obama couldn't do it. Trump couldn't do it. Biden couldn't do it. Hasn't happened since 2002. but I think this time it could, because Democratic approval ratings is at 19%, and now they're doubling down on the very issues that make them unpopular. They're doubling down on transgender athletes. They're doubling down on not notifying parents whose children notify their teachers that they're transitioning. They still believe that they should keep that from the parents. Gavin Newsom, in a one-party state, is talking about reorganizing the congressional districts simply because Greg Abbott's doing it in Texas. That's idiotic. Just today, and I wasn't even going to talk about it, but just today, Gavin Newsom is putting forth a bill to continue with high-speed rail. They are just on the wrong side of just about every issue, and that gives us an opportunity, I think, in the 2026 midterm elections. And you just heard why. This was their nominee, and she couldn't name one person or 6 people. But if she'd left out AOC, she'd have lost the left progressive side of the party, and she couldn't mention AOC because then that sends the signal that the Democratic Party is truly woke, which it is. Here is more from really a bad politician.
I thought a lot about running for governor. I love my state. I love California. I've served as just elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator. But to be very candid with you, when I was a young in my career, I had to defend my decision to become a prosecutor with my family. And one of the points that I made is, why is it then when we think we want to improve a system or change it, that we're always on the outside on bended knee or trying to break down the door? Shouldn't we also be inside the system? And that has been my career. And recently I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken.
Where do I begin? As someone who speaks professionally and has been doing so for about 30 years, let me give you all some advice. Never, never, ever, never, ever, 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 ever begin a sentence with, "Let me be candid with you." Or, "To be honest," because what does that say? What, you're not always candid? This is like a special time? Well, let me stop lying and be candid with you. Or, "To be honest, because everything else I've said is a lie." Never, ever start that. That's ridiculous. It's like saying, "Well, let me tell you what I think." Really? First thing an editor would do would write that, just, "Let me tell you what I think." I thought that's the whole point of you opening your mouth. I thought that was the whole reason you're writing this essay. Let me tell you what I think. Let me be honest. You've been lying all this time then, Kamala? Anyway, let me get to the substance. She thinks the system is broken? Okay, all right, let's accept that. It's not true, but let's hypothetically accept that. You're such a strong leader that you're going to walk out on your party right when you say it's broken. Things are going bad. I'm out. I'm Dr. King, and the civil rights movement's a mess. Black people can't get jobs. We can't vote. But I'm Dr. King. See ya. I'm out of here. Come on, Kamala. Times get tough and you want to live your best life. Fine. Get out, because you ain't never coming back. You ain't getting elected dog catcher of Alameda County. God, it's amazing how she can't be stupid. She can't possibly be stupid. You can't get elected DA, Attorney General, and Senator, even with Willie Brown, with his hand so stuck up your behind that it's like a puppet Charlie McCarthy.
But it doesn't make sense. Here's one more.
I think there's so much, there's so many good people who are public servants, who do such good work, teachers and firefighters and police officers and nurses and scientists. And so it's not about them, but, I believe, and I always believed, that as fragile as our democracy is, our systems would be strong enough to defend our most fundamental principles. And I think right now that they're not as strong as they need to be. And I just don't want to, for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I want to travel the country. I want to listen to people. I want to talk with people. And I don't want it to be transactional where I'm asking for their vote.
I take that back. She is stupid. Willie Brown got her elected to all those positions. She's not very smart. She's just not. I'm sorry. Howard University is a wonderful, wonderful, historically Black college. How she graduated, I have no idea. And this from a man who failed at a historically Black college, but nevertheless, she's just not very bright. She's just not. She has no idea what she's saying. She really doesn't. But when times get hard, I'm going to step out. I'm not going to be a part of the solution. I'm just going to get away from it, live my best life and travel and talk to people and get ready to run against Gavin Newsom. Good luck with that. As much of an idiot as he is, at least he can fake it well. Gavin fakes it pretty damn well. And lady, if you think that you're going to get the nomination, that two people out of the state of California are going to run and you're going to emerge victorious, you're dumber than I think you are, which is hard to be, I'll tell you that. That's remarkable. Well, this ought to be rich. She's going on a media tour selling this book, 107 Days. I'm so tempted to buy it just to hear her nonsense. I just think like every night I'd be like, okay, I can't read any more of this. You know what I mean? She'd say something remarkably, ridiculously off the charts stupid, and I'd close the book and I don't know. I think I almost have an obligation to read it, actually, for what I do. I don't know. I got a whole week. Be a good time to read a book. Quick break. We'll check the board again, see what you all are talking about. Talk a little sports at the bottom of the hour. And then we're getting out of here for about a week. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96. All
right, play Casey.
It's the JR Show.
So Kamala Harris decides not to run for governor of California, which is a good thing because she's not going to be the governor of California. But it's a bad thing because, one, I think she was beatable, but two, means she's going to run for president, which also means she'll have to do something she's never done before. Win a presidential primary, because last time she ran and won was 5 years ago, and she lost. Last year, she didn't have to win. She was anointed. Good luck, Kamala.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Okay, I know. Casey's Steakhouse closed on 4th of July, but they'll certainly be back open this weekend. And after barbecuing or going to somebody's house on Friday, you're certainly...
I don't know why it's playing this one. I replaced this one. I replaced this one a while ago. I don't know why this one's in there. Let me replace that. Hold on.
Stop by the Stockyard next door. You know, with the Battle of the Bartenders, I found that a lot of you have gone to Casey's Steakhouse and aren't even aware of the Stockyard next door, the speakeasy type bar that Cassie has set up. It's been an absolute game changer. You can have dinner. You can enjoy some of their craft cocktails. It is a banquet hall, so you can have meetings there. You can have election night parties, as Kathy Abernathy does. It is a great, great venue and a great place to have a cocktail after dinner in the main restaurant where Jimmy and Bobby are playing live music, and there's an acoustic guitar player in the Stockyard as well. Casey's Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Too hot for golf? Swing into action at Paso Robles Golf Club, just ranked among California's top 25 best public golf courses. Paso boasts the best conditioned fairways, a stock golf shop, and a cool state-of-the-art fitting studio. After your round, head to Deeds Bar and Grill, the ultimate sports bar at any golf course. Open daily with a full bar, 18 big screens, and spacious veranda seating. Great course, great food, great drinks, and great staff. Paso Robles Golf Club. There's no place like it. PasoRoblesGolfClub.com, 1600 Country Club Drive, Paso Robles.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Not available in all states.
Hey, bills happen! So when you need extra cash fast, go to BillsHappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to BillsHappen.com. All you need is a job and a checking account. You can find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow at BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com is the smart way to get a personal lender now. So if you need extra money for car repairs, medical bills, family emergencies, whatever you need cash for, go to BillsHappen.com and you can get the money you need as soon as the next day, up to $5,000. At BillsHappen.com, our process is safe, secure, and all online. No one to deal with in person, and Bills Happen does not charge you any fees to use our service. It's easy. When you need a lender, just remember, when bills happen, go to BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com for the cash you need now. BillsHappen.com.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Monday edition of the First Look program, we have the latest in our very disappointing illegal fireworks statistics, this bizarre double murder of the guy from Bakersfield in Arkansas. We'll talk jobs with America's Job Center at Current, and we'll back all of that up with state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. KERN.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Because he got sick and tired of screaming at me, Ralph, turn that damn music down. And he literally bought me headphones. And whenever, you get tired of using headphones. Sometimes you want to fill the room with some music. And he'd come running in the room. Why did I buy these? Why did I buy these? Boy, you better put these on. No, I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, God, I wish a bus would hit him. I don't want him to die. Just go in the hospital for about 6 weeks. Leave me alone. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got?
She says the system is broken. Well, hell, her and her cohorts have been in charge of the system, especially California.
Exactly. They're the ones that broke it. Creating a coup and removing a sitting president. Lying and telling the American people that the man was up for the job when they all knew that he wasn't. It's one of the greatest cover-ups, I think, greater than Watergate. I really do. This man was controlling the nuclear weapons. According to his son, he's been on Ambien during occasions as president of the United States. Hillary Clinton was the one that put forward that question. Who's going to be there to answer that call at 3 a.m.? And what the hell is Joe Biden going to do all goofy on Ambien if, in fact, that call comes at 3 a.m.? So if anybody has broken the system, it's been the Democratic Party. They've broken the tradition of primaries. For one man, they're so obsessed with defeating Donald Trump that a primary system that lasted for decades upon decades. You got to go back, I think, all the way to the 50s, where they began in Iowa.
And they changed it up because of race. And every time I bring up race, you all tell me to stop looking at life through race. When in fact, race is one of the biggest factors in America. And the reason they moved the primary from Iowa to South Carolina was because there are 12 black folks in Iowa, and 27% of the state of South Carolina are black. So stop being naive and believing that race doesn't play a significant part of life, period. And James Clyburn went down there and raised his hand in Columbia after shaking on the deal, give me a black vice president and give me a black Supreme Court justice. And Uncle Fluffy said, deal. But now it's even greater of a problem because of this auto pen thing. We don't even know who's running the White House. We don't know who's running the country. So again, I say this is one of the greatest cover-ups and greatest travesties since Woodrow Wilson, who had a stroke and Mary Wilson was running the country. At least we found out who was doing it. We'll never know who's running the country. We'll never know who was writing those auto pen directives. So if the system is broken, we know damn well who broke it. Final half hour of the week. We'll come back, talk a little sports. We'll check the boards, what you all are talking about. Recap our top story of the day. We have more information on the couple from Bakersfield who were killed in an Arkansas park. Devil Dens Park. Kind of a almost fitting name since Satan was there preying on this unbelievable couple, from one from Foothill High School, the other from Liberty, and a mom who secured her children's safety and then went back to defend her husband fatally. Final half hour, don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Authorities have launched a manhunt after a shooting at a Montana bar left 4 people dead. State investigators said the shooting happened Friday morning at the Owl Bar in Anaconda. Public records show that the suspect lived next door to the bar. His home was cleared by a SWAT team, but he was still at large and believed to be armed, prompting warnings from officials to avoid the area. President Trump has ordered the repositioning of 2 U.S. nuclear submarines. Friday's decision comes after what he calls highly provocative statements by former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. Medvedev and Trump have feuded online in recent days. The impact on U.S. nuclear subs, which routinely patrol global hotspots, remains unclear. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Bill Robbins. Copper thieves are targeting HVAC units all over Bakersfield. Companies.
Definitely not be sober.
I go to my ex's house and say, let's have sex. We'll be dead in about 12 minutes, so let's get naked. She'd still say no. I don't want you to be the last man I make love to, Ralph Bailey. I've got toys in my drawer. Leave me alone. I don't know. I guess call my mom.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I don't know. I have no audio.
Dave said,
Whoa, how are we going to afford life insurance?
if only Dave knew that SelectQuote could find him a policy for up to 50% less than he's found online. That's about the same amount as one of his streaming subscriptions. SelectQuote is a broker. They know which carrier has the right policy for Dave's situation, so he'll have money left over for
A karaoke machine with auto-tune.
I'm canceling your credit card.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get your free quote now at selectquote.com or call 800-341-6060. That's 800-341-6060. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
Monday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will break down the absolute latest in the ongoing tariff battles as we approach another deadline. Plus, continuing revelations surrounding Russia and the disinformation campaign. What is the impact of that? We will continue to break that down. All that and more, we'll break it down for you on Monday edition.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
She's giving me excitations, good bop bop, good vibrations, bop bop. Now I don't feel so good. I just drank like 25 ounces of water in like 2 sittings. Wouldn't it be great YouTube television though if I threw up right on live radio? No?
Some people might be interested.
What did I have for lunch? Oh, I had the leftover chicken. I told you I went to that chicken place, Pollo Campano. That place is, man, the grilled chicken is so good, the roasted grilled chicken. And they have this rice, and the beans are just a little bit spicy. And I pour the beans over the rice, although they come in really small containers. You know, the containers have gotten so much smaller. By the way, I was having a sandwich. I was at Arco first, right? And I was on my way to Subway. So I figured I'll get one of the big bags, not the gargantuan bags, but one of the larger size bags of Lay's potato chips. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, like the party size or whatever you call it.
Yeah, it's about yay big.
Yeah.
And I got home, that thing was a quarter filled. It wasn't even half filled. It was like, if the bag was here, there was like that much potato chips in the bag. I swear to God.
Highway robbery.
I mean, corporate America, they should just be ashamed. They really should. And it's all about money, despite the fact that these guys are making money hand over fist. Like everybody wants to be a billionaire now. You know, it's not enough to have hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, it's what I say about the Black community. Can you imagine if the Black community came together? If Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey and all these Black billionaires, there are about 5 or 6 of them, all came together and just said, we're going to give $100 million. $100 million from each of them, which wouldn't impact their lives not one bit. And you had a pot of almost $1 billion that you could do anything you wanted to. You give a portion of it to historically Black colleges. You could give it to charter schools throughout the nation, but just never see it. You never see it. But you do in other ethnic groups. I'm not going to name any names, Jews, Asians, Vietnamese, but I'm not going to name any names. But they come together as a group. Even Latinos. Black folks, not so much. Not so much. I can't explain it. Don't ask me. But we have capital now. We did not when I was growing up. Black folks did not have generational wealth in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. But now we've got about 6 or 7 Black folks who couldn't spend the money they have if their life depended on it. It's just sad. It really is. What are you giggling at?
Nothing. I didn't giggle.
What do you got on the board?
Regarding the couple in Arkansas, first of all, incredibly sad. If it were me, I would have hoped my wife would have taken herself and the kids out of there and never looked back, found the authorities, and hoped the best for me. One parent is better than no parents.
Okay, that was my logic. I didn't think you guys would agree with me. I thought you were going to bag on me for saying that, but that was my logic. The logic changes if the killer, the alleged killer, McGann, had attacked the wife and the husband scurried the children away. I think as a man, you have a duty to go back and fight for your wife, even if you can't win. It's hard to beat a guy with a knife. Go ask Ron, whatever Nicole's boyfriend was, the waiter. But he was a class athlete too, but that's beside the point. But if it's the husband, he's got to go back. Do you not agree with that?
Oh, 100%. But if it's the husband, you don't leave to begin with.
Yeah, you do, to get the kids away.
No, I'm telling my kids, run that way. I'm helping your mom. I'll find you guys in a second.
Well, I don't think it was presented like that.
I'm sure it wasn't, but
I think they were separate. The wife saw the husband getting attacked, got the kids away. It's not like they were like four in a group, I don't think. And he just chose him. I think she was like behind him. He gets attacked. She gets the kids away and then comes back and then she gets it. And the question, if you don't know what we're talking about, is whether or not it would have been smarter for the wife just to run and get help. Because you're right. Those kids are orphans now, and perhaps they could have at least had their mom. And what is a woman going to do against a man with a knife? I mean, there's just no chance. No chance at all. I know she, was a great athlete. Apparently she was a great volleyball player at Liberty High School, but no chance. No chance. But that just doesn't, logic doesn't run through your mind when your husband's been stabbed. It's just human nature to go run back and do whatever you can, but it's sad. It really is. What else you got?
attacking Dems is your only defense of Trump. Like Kirk said, he didn't want Ralph to fly the plane. I don't want Trump to run the country.
Yeah, because the country's in such bad shape, right? Right? The country's in really bad shape, right? Let's examine where the country is after 7 months. Well, there's peace among the Iranians and the Israelis. The Houthis and the Hezbollah are complete. You haven't heard a word from them in months. They're done. Iran's nuclear efforts have been put back for at least a year. And the president is now going to step in because it is getting crazy what the Israelis are doing. And it's not anti-Semitic to sometimes criticize Israel or criticize Benjamin Netanyahu. But what they're doing in Gaza in terms of the humanitarian aid and those people starving is shameful. And guess who's stepping in now? Guess who said, you know what, we're going to get involved in this? Donald Trump. And of course, the economy sucks. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. GDP just jumped by 3%. We just had a good jobs report. Inflation is under 3%. The tariffs are actually working. We just signed an agreement with the European Union, 27 nations. Japan has signed an agreement. Vietnam has signed an agreement. The Philippines has signed an agreement. So what is your beef? What is your beef with this country right now? There's nobody coming across the border. No one. And what did Uncle Fluffy tell you and your Democrats? Oh, there's nothing I can do. Congress has to do something. I can't do a thing. If they had a bill, we had a bill, but Trump killed it. I can't do anything. If we had had that bill and Trump hadn't stepped in, we could do something. But without that bill, I can't do a thing. And then Trump gets inaugurated, and all of a sudden, bing, bang, bong, the border is closed. So what's your beef? You're right. This country's going to hell. What else?
Isn't saying the system is broken the same as saying Gavin is a failure?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And particularly since the Republicans have only been in power for 7 months and Democrats had been in power for the last 4 years, I'm pretty sure that falls on your doorstep there, Kamala.
I hate to criticize a black woman. I really do. And I hate to call a woman who has accomplished more than I could ever dream of accomplishing. Seems kind of stupid for a small town radio guy to call the former attorney general of this state stupid. But she's stupid. She's stupid. And I just can't figure out, is she politically stupid? Well, we know that. But is that what it is? That she's intelligent, but she's just politically stupid? We've had a lot of intelligent people who have been incredibly stupid politicians. I think Hubert Humphrey was a brilliant man. I was a liberal Democrat growing up when Hubert Humphrey was in power. He was an idiot. He was an idiot. Politically, he made horrendous decisions. He should have never been Johnson's vice president. Never. In the middle of a controversial war with a president who is unpopular, and you want to sign up to be his vice president, and then you want to run for president on his agenda, basically, continuing the war? It's one of the stupidest things in the history of the world. What else?
The President of the United States was close friends with the most notorious pedophile in history, and he is clearly lying to conceal that friendship. And Ralph doesn't understand why this is a huge story. Sounds like he wishes it would just go away.
I do wish it would go away. And do you think that Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's only friend? And your thesis is that anybody that cohorted and ran around New York with one of the biggest, most rich socialites in the state of New York, that they're somehow connected to the island and they're pedophiles? Really? Because I can come up with as much video of Whoopi Goldberg with Jeffrey Epstein as you could come up with Donald Trump being with him. I could come up with as much video of William Jefferson Clinton hanging out with Epstein. There's even video of him on the island. You really think that Donald Trump is a pedophile? Do you really? No, you really don't, but you're just so obsessed that anything will do. You all know the nature of pedophiles. It's who they are. They don't dabble in pedophilia. It's who they are. That's why they get caught, because they just can't stop. It's the most recurring crime on the books. It's who they are. Do you want me to explain this again? Cosby could get any woman in LA, but Cosby's thing was having sex with some woman like that. That was his thing. Whether it's sucking on toes or sleeping with women that are knocked out or even sleeping with younger women. But teenagers, guys that sleep with teenagers, that's what they do. Stop it. Who you got?
You have Rich on the line.
Rich, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hey, Ralph, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. Hey, I wanted to get your take. I don't know if I just got on the radio listening, but I was at work. Did you have a take on the Sydney Sweeney thing? They're saying her commercial with American Eagle has tinges of white supremacy, and
tying them to the Nazis. They're saying that the SS is some allusion to the Nazis. We talked about it with Rick Bentley. You can go back on YouTube and go back to the beginning of the show and watch what Rick had to say about it, what we had to say about it. I've been avoiding the topic. I've heard them discussing it. I think it's the most ludicrous, ridiculous thing in the world. And she's a hot girl. It's the best thing that could have happened to the Gene Company. But it's the dumbest conspiracy I've ever heard of. It really is.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to hear, because I think you're a balanced person, and you kind of like you're neither overly sensitive nor like, or so I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
I'm trying to get a perspective on it, because sometimes I'm oversensitive and sometimes I'm undersensitive.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
All right, have a great weekend, Ralph.
You too. That was cool. That was a nice thing to say. You know what the nicest thing I've heard recently was from Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, who said what I would hope you would all say. He said, I don't always agree with Ralph.
fact, he was vehemently against my marijuana stand. A big shot there. But he said I'm fair. He said I'm fair. And that was one of the reasons that he was willing to talk to me and only me about the whole Justin Fleeman thing, which was another great compliment. He told me, I'm only doing this with you. It was pretty cool. Great way to go out on vacation as we go to our final break of the day. I just can't figure out what I'm having for dinner. I guess I could go in the stockyard and hang out with Haley. But I had the chicken. I had chicken last night at the Pollo Campano. You know what really sounds good for some reason? I don't know why.
What's that?
A Carl's Jr. burger. Charcoal burger. Charcoal broiled burger.
I know that sounds good,
Yeah.
but remember what you are, healing from.
Yeah, the protein. Shouldn't do protein. A little sushi? Oh, it's too late to call in sushi. I'll figure it out. Final break of the night. Keep it locked. Charlie Kirk at the top of the hour. Don't forget next week, Kathy Abernathy hosting on Monday. Judge Teresa Goldner hosting on Tuesday. Restaurateur KC Steakhouse owner Cassie Biddle on Wednesday. Special counsel to Stephen Bloomberg, the chancellor of KCCD, the current community college district, Romeo Agbalog on Thursday. And our Friday regular, Rick Bentley, will wrap up the week. In the meantime, you're still listening to The Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at KernRadio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Monday on the Armstrong and Getty Show, Trump just sent 2 nuclear submarines closer to Russia because of ramped up rhetoric. Oh boy.
Plus, the American Public Library is dying. Nobody's going anymore. All across the country. Why? Because there's so many bums and junkies in the library. Here's a question for you. Why in the world have we let this happen? And what can be done about it? On the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on
What?
Promo.
Oh, yeah. Do you need a promo or just, what do I say
Just do
about
an
next
in-show
week?
one.
Huh?
If you want, just do an in-show one, and then you can do one for Monday when you get back, if you would like. But
Oh, do one for Monday when I return?
yeah, like for when
Don't
you're
do
coming
one for
back.
Monday?
Yeah. So I can post that on Friday.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. You ready? 3, 2. So Kamala Harris broke down on Stephen Colbert why she will never, ever be the president. He asked, who are the leaders of the Democratic Party? She couldn't come up with one name. And she says she's stepping aside because the system is broken. Now that's true leadership. Instead of being part of the solution, she's going to go live her best life. Well, bye-bye, Kamala, because you're never getting elected again. 3, 2. It's that man again, back from vacation. This is what's going on the Monday TRBS. Well, Dr. Jeet Singh will join us. And, of course, Kathy Abernathy will be here. And, of course, I'm going to ramble about my vacation. All that and me at 3. It's TRBS. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you Monday.
Find him a policy for up to 50% less than he's found online. That's about the same amount as one of his streaming subscriptions. SelectQuote is a broker. They know which carrier has the right policy for Dave's situation, so he'll have money left over for
a karaoke machine with auto-tune.
I'm canceling your credit card.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get your free quote now at SelectQuote.com or call 800-341-6060. That's 800-341-6060. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The Bear Mountain Sports Deer and Dove Extravaganza and store-wide summer clearance is on now.
Shop Bear Mountain Sports for all of your hunting season needs. Firearms, ammo, clothing, calls. We've got it all. Major summer clearance store-wide with discounts up to 75% off merchandise throughout the store. Not a hunter? We've got plenty of items on sale for home and personal defense, plinking, or even camping. Of course, Bear Mountain Sports has all your favorite brands. Benelli, Beretta, Ruger, Glock, Springfield, HK, Smith & Wesson, and many more. Shop early for the best selection on firearms and waiting periods. Bear Mountain Sports is located on Weed Patch Highway, just south of the 58. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 8 to 5, and Sunday, 9 to 2. Got a quick question? Give us a call at 366-AMMO, 366-AMMO. Plus, make plans to join us for the Arvin Lions Club Gene Delay Memorial Shoot on August 23rd. Hurry into Bear Mountain Sports. The Deer and Dove Extravaganza and store-wide summer clearance sale is on now. We'll see you at the Bear, where the tradition continues.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERS.
Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay.
Now, why would somebody leave Georgia to go to the Bay Area? What's the matter with you? Savannah, Atlanta. What are some other highlights of Georgia? Statesboro, where my mother was born. I think I earlier said my mother was born in Savannah. I lied. I hope my mother wasn't listening. She was actually born in Statesboro. She grew up in Savannah, where her father was a Baptist preacher until he got a job across the Savannah River, right across the border in Beaufort, South Carolina, where a young 8-year-old Ralph Bailey was matriculating at, and again, I lied again yesterday. I said that my grandfather was the preacher at Ebenezer Baptist Church. I'm shocked Black people did not inundate me with text messages, because most Black folks know, or should know, that Ebenezer Baptist Church is one of the most famous churches in the country. Why is Ebenezer Baptist Church so, Chris just picked up the phone. He just got bailed out. I'm still going to ask him. I'm going to do a little song and dance until he gets off the phone. Why is Ebenezer Baptist Church the most famous
Martin Luther
Black?
King Jr.
Nice. Okay, just checking out on you. Just checking. So I made a mistake. It wasn't Ebenezer. It was Tabernacle Church in Beaufort, South Carolina, where my dad's future father-in-law would baptize him at the age of 8. 842-5376, 842-KER. And let's take one last phone call and get the Sam Hill out of here.
You have Bill on the line.
Bill, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
Hey, Ralph, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Quick question. Can the Congress overturn the impeachment of Trump, since this has all been a confinement, it's been a hoax?
No.
They cannot. Okay.
No,
That's
they
a
cannot.
shame, because they should.
Hell, they're talking about impeaching him again. They really are. They really are. It is absurd and ridiculous. I don't know. I suppose they could write a bill to maybe expunge it. I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't think so. My gut tells me no, but it's not really based on the Constitution. I haven't read about that. Maybe you can ask Teresa Golden when she hosts on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or maybe
well, we're at the Brad Williams comedy concert tonight, so
that should be fun.
It should be a blast. He's a great comedian.
Yeah. Well, have fun. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Ralph.
All right, no problem. 842-5376, 842-KER. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a censure. You can't erase that. I don't think you can erase an impeachment. What else you got on the board?
The problem with Trump and Epstein is that he's lying about it. He lied about the birthday card. He lied about whether he knew his name was on the list, and he told different stories about why he kicked Epstein out. We don't know the truth, but we know Trump is lying about it.
Well, he hasn't told different stories. The media has told one story about their fight. It was over a real estate thing. Trump insists that it was over him taking employees from him, including Virginia Giuffre, the young woman who became part of Jeffrey Epstein's harem and was so traumatized by it that she committed suicide at the age of 41. And you're right that the Giuffre family and other victims' families are not very happy with the president on how he's handled this whole thing, and the fact that he hasn't categorically ruled out giving either clemency or a pardon to Giselle Maxwell, who, again, if you're just joining the show somehow, we've talked about all day long. She just got removed from a pretty hard federal prison in Florida to a pretty damn cushy Club Fed in Texas. Such a low violent and white collar prison that a woman that once starred on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is doing a fraud stint in this dorm room that they have, as opposed to cubicles that she had back in Florida. And coming after Todd Blanche, the second in command of the Department of Justice, spending 9 hours with her, and then suddenly she gets a huge break. I mean, a huge break. And I'm sure the line will be, well, it was for her security. She's a celebrity. She could get shivved and boop, 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 boop. But the timing could not be worse. That's going to do it for me. Want to thank the Lemonade Kids, Luke Tobias, Danny Fletcher, a young female, and Rosie Rodriguez. Also, of course, Rick Bentley, who will be hosting 1 week from today, and all of you for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you in about a week. And for Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. Wrap to you next Monday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump on Friday removed the head of the agency that produces the monthly jobs figures after a report showed hiring slowed in July and was much weaker in May and June than previously reported.
I think her numbers were wrong. Just like I thought her numbers were wrong before the election. Days before the election, she came out with these beautiful numbers for Kamala.
Erica McIntyre, the director of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was dismissed. A Miami jury decided Tesla must pay $243 million in an autopilot crash case.
In 2019, in Key Largo, Florida, a Tesla with autopilot driver assist technology hit a vehicle on a dark rural road with a young couple out gazing at the stars. A woman was killed. Her boyfriend was injured. The plaintiff's lead lawyer acknowledged the driver of the Tesla was negligent, admitting he was looking for a dropped cell phone. The federal jury held Tesla bore significant responsibility because its technology failed and that not all the blame can be put on a reckless driver. Tesla says the verdict is wrong. I'm Ed Donahue.
Authorities have launched a manhunt after a shooting at a Montana bar left 4 people dead. State investigators said the shooting happened Friday morning at the Owl Bar in Anaconda. Public records show that the suspect lived next